the book basically says, you know, you don't get to choose the curriculum of life, but you can choose whether you see through the eyes of pain or the eyes of joy. And you can either be host to God or you can be hostage to ego. It's up to you. And it's a fucking beautiful book. I can't recommend it enough to anyone. But that made a really huge impression on me personally, where it was like, man, I don't think these people, like even my parents, were like, you're not bad people. You're just fucking trapped in conceptual thinking. Right. And you think guilt is real, and it's really just this fabric that you weave existence in. And you go, you know, you're either guilty or you're not guilty, but that's a trap. And it's a hostage-like situation. It's your own fucking Guantanamo.
Right. It's a net that you hold on to.
If at some point in time, Craig constantly talks about starting a cult. If you decide to start a cult, I'm sucking your dick. Oh, I'll be first in line, bro. Prove it. That shit is awesome, man. Yeah. What
Jay,
you're
we
saying
have another
is
surprise
real, bro.
for you today.
Fuck it, man. Take it underneath.
Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast. Your host, Craig Casamas and Big J Curran.
Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast, motherfuckers. We got a recurring guest, and we got a new guest from the hip-hop group BADD STARTT coming in.
Yeah, baby.
Mike Wetzel, John Slavin. I fucked up you and your brother's name for 100 years.
I know, everyone does.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You fucking dirty Swedes. What are you guys?
Yeah.
You guys put out this incredible hip-hop EP. I really like it a lot. Jay said he doesn't like it so much, but
God damn it, Jay.
Jay's a real hip hop aficionado.
New stuff's getting even better.
I just wanted to throw Jay under the bus, dude. He actually had pretty nice things to say about it. But,
oh, thanks, Jay.
welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thank you.
I will tell you that there were some things that I heard where I could hear. I heard things coming through, and I could see where different production.
Okay.
Because the lyrics and stuff were tight, but there was different things where you guys were coming into stuff where I could hear some twangy hippie, like country hippie stuff where I could hear some stuff coming in.
Yeah.
But then the lead into it didn't match what the beat and the sound was. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like you guys were ahead of the track. Like you guys either had to slow down or the track had to speed up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, I'm listening to the beat and I'm listening to the sounds of what's going on, the production of it. And I'm like, oh, this shit is dope. But it didn't match.
It could have something to do with the fact that we do a lot of meth in the studio.
That's true.
Well,
that's true.
It doesn't
which is
help
how
that
you
we
guys
know
up and
that,
slowing
but
down.
we're
Yeah.
fucking
It's a
stuck.
blessing and
You guys
a
look
curse.
healthy, man.
Yeah.
That's how that happens. I mean, obviously we're not doing meth. You can tell all we're doing is snacks and you know, some booze, and he says he's on Ozempic.
And
I don't know what that's about.
We're
you know.
real heavy into insulin right now, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, we're shooting something, but
No, but seriously, man, I've listened to the EP multiple times.
Awesome.
I really fucking enjoy it.
thank you.
And,
Thank you.
And I've known both of you for 20 fucking years, dude.
True.
And you are an anomaly. You've been on the podcast. You do incredible country, psychedelic, fucking psycho shit. You're an amazing producer. You
Thank
fucking
you.
build incredible beats. And for you guys to get together and decide to like put a fucking hip hop album out is incredible, dude. Like it was awesome. Like for me, like it covers all the things of like the 90s that I love, and then covers all the other spectrum of like, it's just like good fucking songs, dude.
Hell
and like
yeah.
even incorporating like your like bluegrass style shit that you do
Fire
on the side,
Brimstone.
you know, which
Love that stuff.
you know
Little Link
you've been on the
Ray.
podcast
Yeah.
before, you know, like, and you're one of those infuriating fucking creatives that is
It's true.
dumb talented at everything you do.
Thank you.
And for me, like, as a dude that played heavy metal and hardcore and punk rock, to like think about doing a hip hop record, it's out of the fucking question. And then you and this fucking guy go all in, dude, and just create like a fucking pretty rad, like, initial release. You know what I mean? Like, so congratulations, dude.
Thank
I'm
you.
stoked for you guys.
Hell yeah.
Seriously.
I think we don't have a fear of embarrassing ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
No, 100%, dude. No.
I think what Jay's picking up too is we were just finding our shit
Right.
on these 4 songs, right?
For sure.
I mean, we can get into how that all came about. but-
Okay, cool.
No, I would love
Let's do
to.
it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So how did it come about?
Oh shit! Now we got to answer
Because
that.
you've been you have been recording his shit for a minute.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
I mean, I have a studio here in town. I've been basically being engineer on the one side of the glass with a bunch of local guys, a bunch of friends, a bunch of homie hookups, and I love Mike. We've been friends for a really long time, and this is our first time doing music together. I mean,
Right.
except I've recorded some of your previous.
We've worked together
things,
plenty, but
we've never
like
written together.
never written.
Yeah,
and made
collaboration.
music. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, the beginning of this was let's just get together and let's figure something out.
Yeah.
It wasn't even
Right.
intended to be hip hop.
You were like,
Oh,
hey,
really?
what if we get together on Sundays and just start making music?
yeah, I said let's make it church. Like we just get together every Sunday and we'll figure something out. And we even talked about doing some hardcore stuff, like some old school hardcore, whatever.
Then we realized we didn't have a band.
Right. I kind of play drums. You play everything else
Right,
because he
right.
does, because he's that guy.
You're not a drummer?
He can play drums.
He can.
oh,
I know. I probably
Like
know
you
how to
said, it's
entertain
infuriating.
myself.
He does
Yeah.
everything.
It's rude, dude. Yeah.
I just entertain myself. I'm not. I wouldn't call myself a drummer.
I could
don't
be
call
in a
myself
drummer in
anything.
a really dog shit rock and roll band, dude. Like,
Yeah.
or like a grind band. I can grind for some reason. I can do that.
Hell
But,
yeah.
Yeah, that's about my limit, dude. And then throw a random fill. You know
Nice.
what I mean?
Hell
The
But
yeah.
it
one
would be,
fill
it
you
would
got?
be
Right.
horrendous.
Yeah.
It'd be the same one every fucking time. You know?
Yeah, and looking back, I mean, we've just talked off air about terrible memories, but like not having a good memory. But I don't even remember how the first. We just fucking went into it.
We have one track that we started with.
Yeah.
And then we scrapped it. And we're like, okay, I think we're figuring out what we're doing. And then we just kept going. And the next 4 we did were this release.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And we entertained, like he said, a lot of ideas of different genres and types of music we wanted to do. And then we were like, let's just go with fucking hip hop. Because we both love hip hop.
Right.
I did a mixtape back in the day. And it just kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think it's a beautiful fucking, like, you know, for 2 guys that I've known for many years, it pissed me off that you can fucking rhyme, first of all. You know what I mean? Like, and then second of
good.
all, I was like, fuck, man. It's like well produced. The sample, like, I love a hip hop album with samples, dude.
Right.
I fucking love that.
Hell
shit,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it fucking just made me so stoked. You know, like it's like because it has that callback to that '90s, early 2000s hip hop shit where you're like they're pulling samples from weird shit that you're like it makes you curious. You're like, where the fuck did that? Like, where did they find that one? You know,
We're
or did
always-
they make their own, or did like what happened?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
We're always listening to so many like podcasts and comedy things and watching TV shows and whatnot that now I feel like we just both put kind of like, oh shit, that was fucking hilarious or that was great or whatever, and put it aside, use it later if it falls into place and
Right.
into a good spot. But also it doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to
Right.
be like, well, what really
Doesn't have to be
captures our
formulaic.
sound? Yeah.
right.
Yeah, just
Which the original hip hop, like when you go back to like Rap and Duke and the original stuff, like it was fun. It was just whatever, you know. It didn't last very long. It got pretty serious pretty quick. But
Right.
like Freaks Come Out at Night and Rap and Duke, Daha Daha was all just guys sitting around having a good time.
Totally.
There was no. It obviously later on became rather rapidly more intense, you know, especially with the environment. But
Right.
like so much of it should just be fun.
I think a lot
You
of that
know?
too is geological. where
Oh,
it's like
100%, yeah.
we're not rhyming about like or talking about like from the streets or
Right,
drugs
right,
or
right. No, man.
bitches or whatever. Like it's our shit, what we're up to, you know,
Yeah.
what we know about. And that's
true.
We were even talking with a friend, and actually Kai, who has a label called French Hours International, who's helping us and supporting us and pushing us a lot. And he was saying like, you know, I don't think you guys should jump into the hip hop scene per se. It's also very cliquey and it's a cutthroat kind of thing. He goes, you guys feel more like a punk rock DIY skater
Right,
kind of
right,
thing.
right.
And that's exactly where we come from. So it makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah.
And
you
what
know?
Totally,
what hip hop scene is there?
I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
out there.
I'm around it a lot. I know a lot
Yeah.
of people, and in Ventura County, there's no scene, none.
There's
Interesting.
like some
Yeah.
like 805 hip hop scene, right?
Sure.
But it's not.
But
It's
we
not
would
like they're
not
really
vibe
putting it
there.
out
I
there
don't-
very much.
right.
And hopefully they all yell at me or whatever, you
Yeah,
know.
they
But like
should,
we've had
yeah.
my nephews on there.
Sure.
My nephews were in a band called Nevermind that was one
Right.
of the first 805 kind of things
Sure.
going on. But there's not a whole lot of people in the 805 trying to like go to a hip hop show in Ventura.
Right.
You know what I mean?
First of all,
Everybody
find
talks
one.
about it.
Find
no,
one.
they show up, but they don't show up because they don't
Yeah.
make any money.
Right.
You know what I mean? I went and saw Brother Ali, saw Immortal Technique, saw all these different
Hell yeah.
people, and I'm like, you quit saying you're a hip hop head.
Right.
If these people are here trying to do shows and you're not
Not
here,
showing up.
you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
I think Atmosphere is the only time I've ever seen a show sold out.
Right.
You know, but other than that, like they don't support. They
Right.
talk about it. You know, they listen to the
Right.
you know, Nostra Contra, and they listen to whatever they listen to, but they don't really support the local community of hip hop.
There's
no
Right.
scene,
Where
right.
our punk scene in Ventura County supports the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
along with that,
Big time.
all of us kind of get together and support each other in the metal and stuff. You know, anytime Craig shows up, everybody's showing up. You know
I've
what I mean?
talked about it
They
before,
just
I think,
wanna
with
see
you
him
guys.
get naked.
The Ventura scene, so fucking supportive.
Yeah.
Everybody's supportive. They hold each other up. But like I 1000% agree with you that hip hop is different. And that's not what
Yeah.
I'm talking about when I say the Ventura scene. And I've recently realized, even as we've put out this project, like previous projects, some of my homies that are into hip hop, I won't name names, but they're like, previous projects are like, dude, this shit's fucking rad. They'll blast it on social media, whatever, owl acid stuff. And then as soon as I started saying them hip hop stuff, they're like, it's like crickets. Nobody wants to say anything.
Right,
they
yeah,
don't want to like it. They don't want to say anything back. I text them on the side, and they're like, ghost.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I don't care. I don't need that shit. I don't need like to be praised or support. But I see it. I feel it and I sense it. Maybe it's all the acid. I don't know. But I sense. Yeah, you got a little fucking tiny thorn in your pee hole.
Right,
I
right.
understand. I see how it goes. But I don't really care, because somebody was just saying the other day, they're like, I was like, yeah, I don't want to smoke cigarettes anymore. I'm trying to move over to vaping. And they're like, yeah, cigarettes suck. And I was like, I love cigarettes though. And they're like, yeah, but they stink. I was like, I like the way they smell. And they're like, yeah, but other people think they stink. And I was like, who cares what other people think?
Right.
And that mentality that I was expressing right there, I feel like that's not part of the hip hop scene. People in the hip hop scene are like, you do have to care what other people think. You do have to
Right,
try to be so fucking cool and stick with your clique and all this
There's
shit.
a barrier to entry.
See,
Fuck
I
that
think,
cock shit.
I think what happens is I think that a lot of people are like, no, man, I'm hip hop. I love hip hop. I'm about
Right.
hip hop, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're really
Right.
just
True that.
going with like, this is who I am because this is what everybody else says.
Right.
But like, you really, okay, so then who is BDP? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Who,
Yeah,
if,
yeah,
You,
yeah.
if you're hip hop and you can't tell me who BDP is, Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One, Scott LaRock, you can't tell me that, then you don't fucking know.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
don't know what backpack means, if you don't know what it means to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like, you know, if you don't know that De La Soul just came out with some new shit
Yeah, yeah.
after so many years of the record albums holding their shit hostage
Yeah, yeah.
until
Right.
what? I think it was May or April or May of this year is the first time De La Soul's been able to release their shit on media. Like
Right.
you can go to Spotify and hear De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising.
Right.
You haven't been able to hear that.
Right.
But I'm a junkie.
Yeah.
Like this fucking guy sits here and talks to you guys about shit, and I just go
crazy metal and all that
like
shit.
like
Yeah,
Neurosis and all the. And
All the bands.
Yeah.
And I listen to it, and I love listening to the passion.
Right.
And I want him to tell me. And I ask him, it's like, send me more shit. I'll listen to it. But when it comes to hip hop, like I'm a freak. I love this shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Hell yeah,
and
dude.
all of these other people say that.
Yeah.
But all they want is atmosphere.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
want. They don't want to hear like Atmosphere is amazing. But if you talk to Atmosphere and you talk to Slug and Eli, they're going to go, oh, check out Brother Ali, and nobody else is going to be like that. But Brother Ali's insane. Like,
Right.
He's next level genius hip hop artist.
sure.
It's like
Yeah.
lyricist
One of the
is
greatest
insane.
lyricists of
Yeah.
on
Incredible.
fucking planet Earth.
And there's so much of that, and all of these people talk it, but there's no support
Right.
at
Right.
all. You know
Totally.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it's that one, you know, if Snoop shows up, obviously he's gonna sell
Yeah.
out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Speaking
and if
of
it's
which, Doggy Style's not even on. You can't find it on like Spotify and shit like that.
No,
anymore.
yeah,
You don't
'cause he
own the
has his
tape?
own. He has his own.
You don't
I
own
mean,
the tape?
No, I
Yeah,
understand
you know,
that,
I mean,
but
you
like
know.
you can't find that. Like they removed it and you can't even find it anymore.
so do you know why or
I don't know. Probably I don't know. Who knows?
it's
Well, because I
bullshit?
think
Maybe they
Snoop
didn't pay for the
like
fucking
finally
renewal.
owns his own shit. He bought Death Row, and
Yeah.
now he's holding out for all these motherfuckers that are going to pay him the proper money to fucking put it on their platforms.
Sure.
I mean, like
Yeah.
the streaming thing as a whole,
Yeah.
it's the
Man,
new
hey,
fucking war.
Snoop
dude.
needs
Yeah,
to make
like-
his money. You
Yeah,
know what I
and
mean?
he
That
fucking
dude, he don't
should,
have
you
no
know,
money.
Like
That's true.
he fucking should. And all like I said,
dog.
like,
You know what I
Snoop
mean?
bought Death Row, and he owns it. That means he owns all the fucking things. And now he's gonna hold out to this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Whoever the fuck it is, Spotify, iTunes, whoever. You know, you hear about fucking like Neil Young selling his catalog for $150 million fucking dollars.
Right.
Which Neil Young's fine, but
It's not
go
as much
fuck
as
it. It
Justin
ain't fucking
Bieber. though.
Doggy Style, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, and good on him. He's figured out that
Sure.
thing. But
Yeah.
That payday.
you guys are two fucking dudes that are doing
Just
your
doing
thing
it.
and
Yeah.
fucking enjoying it. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like
just having
and
fun.
I love it, man. Like and you guys, I know you both, you know, for many years, and you come from that punk rock DIY, put the fucking product out,
Yeah.
talk
do what
about
feels
it fucking
good,
later,
right?
You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be. There is a weird divide between the hip hop because we talked about it a little bit on the podcast last week. You know, like a lot of metalheads love hip hop because
Sure.
the guys that grew up in my era in the 40s, you loved Ice Cube, you loved NWA, you
Yeah.
also loved fucking Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
You know, it was like
It's all
unavoidable. You know what I
anti-establishment.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
so as much as like we have made our whole entire lives off of a genre of music, we were almost the first generation of kids that were able to like other things and you know and
Openly.
just be like openly and
Openly.
be like, hey man, I love NWA and I also love fucking Deicide at the same
Yeah.
time.
Totally.
which is weird, you know, and that's what I like about you guys is like you don't have to. You're just doing it because it's a fucking project of love. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And a
Like,
fantastic mix of different beats and different like the stuff that you guys have going on is really cool. Like there's different
production
levels
is
to it that
awesome,
you hear.
dude.
Yeah,
Thank
you. It really is
yes.
awesome, dude.
Yeah,
Well, I'll have to be honest. For me, like music is a lot like sports, where I'll enjoy watching football. I'll enjoy watching baseball. But you ask me the players' names,
Yeah.
Sure.
the teams' names, the
Right.
stats, all that. I don't keep track of that shit. And
Right.
I'm this. It may be unpopular, but it's the same shit with music. Like I know bands I like to hear. I love listening to new music. I know what I like, but I don't know history of music and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike, he kind of gets. He throws things at me and goes, "Hey, listen to this. Hey, listen to this." I'm like, dude, I love that.
Right.
For me, my part of the duo is more like I'm the scientist.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Big
I
time.
know the math. I know
You
the
see the
science.
you can figure out the
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't have any actual, and maybe it's a good thing. I don't have outside influences going,
Right.
I want to sound like this.
Which
I want
I
to sound like
like.
that. Because
Yeah.
I don't know anybody.
Right.
And I'm just like, what sounds good to me? What sounds good to you?
Yeah.
And it really works for us because I'm not predisposed to this is my favorite hip hop group. It's my favorite hardcore group, whatever. I
Right.
honestly don't know fucking names, dude. I don't.
Well, there's a beauty in being. I'm not calling you an idiot, but like an idiot
Yeah,
savant.
no, for
someone
absolutely.
that just like is able to absorb the vibe.
No, I'm a total idiot. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I'm the same way, dude.
I'd
Like,
say a little bit more
I'm the
naive.
same
Right.
fucking
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
no,
say
totally
that.
naive.
You cannot sit here and say you're the same fucking way.
No, I am.
You would know. Anybody that believes that, go back and listen to all the podcasts of him talking
You've been
about all the
telling me
different
that
bands.
the whole time. He's a total idiot.
Yeah, no, that's separate than his music.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Right.
he, like this fucking guy. I sit here and listen to him just talk about bands, the people in the bands. He does it every week. For him to say that is him being, modest and trying to be humble, and which is
when
really
it comes
cute.
to being creative,
Yeah, there's nothing
there
creative
is
about you.
Another animal where I do not absorb lyrics. I don't
Right.
absorb song titles. I don't absorb album
Totally.
titles. I could tell you that I could literally list like my favorite band on fucking planet Earth is Neurosis. I have the record cover tattooed on my fucking hand.
Oh yeah.
I can maybe list 5 fucking songs.
Right.
Yeah.
If
I'm
you were to
kind of the
ask
same
me-
way.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
absorb and I fucking take, and that's
Big time.
That is like it's a weird creative thing that happens where you don't like. I'm not concerned in the details of the thing. There's people that can write and feel, and there's people that manufacture and fucking run mimic, right? And
Some people you see
I happen
them-
to be one of the guys that writes and feels.
I'm the same
and
way.
whatever I put out is whatever I put out.
Right.
And I really feel that about you. You know what I mean? Like, because same thing. Like, you're not concerned about the details of
Right.
like, oh, we want
Here
this to
was the
sound like a
producer on
Wu-Tang
this record,
song
and
or
this was
whatever the
this
fuck.
guy. Yeah.
I don't give 2 fucks. You know what I mean? Like,
Me neither.
Yeah.
I just don't
It's just a
retain
weird-
that. My
Yeah.
brain doesn't have room
but
for
what
that.
you do retain is when you
I know
hear
frequencies
something-
and I know
Right.
the science.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So him and I are more just like we're the sexy frontmen,
Right.
You know what
You're
I
the
mean?
historians.
We're just out there,
You're the historians.
put it
You
out there,
have a
throw our
log.
energy out there,
Right.
slap our dick on the table, and let them know what's going on.
And you can
and
use
then
tons
prove
of
it.
colors to like paint a picture.
Yeah.
And like blend them all perfectly and all this shit. Or you can do some mind blowing piece of art with just a ballpoint pen.
Right.
It
Yeah.
doesn't really
Hey, that's
matter.
real. That's true. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's just like
It's what you put out there.
it's what you put out. That's
Yeah,
it.
and honestly, man, one of the things that drives me nuts about, and a lot of it's just my, I have a lot of blocks and stuff from how I grew up, but it's like I wish that I could sit up on stage and sing and do all that stuff, but I cannot retain. And maybe it's because I've never done band practice. I've never sat there with lyrics and remembered and none of that stuff. But
Yeah,
that was never,
But if anybody comes into the bar and asks, "Hey, give me this odd, weird drink," you probably know exactly how to make it.
Or if somebody comes to the bar and they start to harass you, I can walk over there and tell them it's probably not a good idea.
Right.
Yeah, no,
I mean, that's why I got into bouncing and doing security is how I started in the bars is because I love music and wanted to be around it. And I didn't grow up with I wanted to play instruments when I was a kid. I wanted to play bass and where am I going to get a guitar?
Yeah.
Where I'm going to learn. I didn't have nobody around me.
Right,
So
right.
that didn't happen. So when I
Right.
got to a certain point, it was like, I can make sure everybody else is safe.
Sure.
I'm not worried about me. I can make sure that you're okay.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that so long as I'm around, you're okay.
Sounds
Nobody
like
else
a
is
bass
going to do
player.
anything.
Really, you have wild bass player vibes.
Yeah,
dude.
Except
Man,
for the
bass
fact
is
that you
still-
know how to get laid.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I will say that, so the title track, Backflips,
Yes.
is a great example. Mike, we're sitting there. We just had some deep ass conversation about life, right? Which is how we always start our sessions.
Yeah.
Is that
Right,
not
right.
true?
Yeah.
Right.
For that's why we say we need to do a podcast because it's like,
Right.
we should have fucking recorded another
spend
3-hour conversation.
Right.
We spend
Yeah.
the first hour talking about life and shit and our experiences with religion
And you guys
things
have
like
a
that.
wild commonality.
We do.
Being growing
Yeah.
up in it like a
We should
pretty
get into
oppressive-
it at some point.
Yeah,
But yeah.
100%, you know,
and we will.
Yeah.
But Backflips is a great example where Mike goes, "Hey, I got this dope sample, dude. It's this guy and you can fill in if you want, but
Which guy?
Guru G.
Oh, yeah. It's Gandharva or Kumar Gandharva. It's like an Indian Gandharva singer where he's like one of those people that can just croon, but they're crooning on like Kabir poetry. So it's like Guruji, Guruji, and then he's just doing that for fucking like 20 minutes.
Right, and Mike hits me with this. This is maybe the third song we've done, right? The one that's not released. We did Fire and Brimstone. This is our third song, and Mike goes, "Dude, this is dope. Like, check this out." And I'm sitting there thinking, like, how's this fucking gonna work, bro?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And he does the Guruji. We load it into Pro Tools, and it just fucking comes together. And we're like, and all of a sudden I make it do a stutter. It's like Guruji,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's how we work together.
Right.
It just vibed.
One
like-
thing leads to another.
Right.
True collaboration.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it didn't belong there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Right.
But then it found its place, and then it's like we didn't belong there until we found our place.
That's true. That's true. Wow, we're getting super deep.
good,
Let me hit the acid real quick.
yeah.
No shit. He's pretty good at this,
Well-
doing this.
Yeah, I guess my point being that I mean it's just a little a peek into our methodology, I guess. You know what I mean?
right.
There is no like, hey dude, did you hear this song? Let's
Sure.
try to write a song like this.
No,
Yeah.
no, man.
No.
It's like, hey, here's some elements, here's some colors. Let's
Right.
paint with this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think a lot of what happens in the studios is starts off at that point. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
you get influenced
Right.
by listening to what you just were in the car on the way there smoking a joint, thinking, okay, man, I'm going to work this out in the studio. And the same time you're doing that, you know, you're listening to some hip hop stuff or whatever. You know what I mean? It could
Right.
be Brother We're Out There. You know, it
Totally.
could be
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Half the time
but then
it's
you get in there and you
podcasts.
get that influence.
Big time.
You know?
Yeah.
But the influence, like podcast is whatever it is. So podcast
Right.
could be a music podcast.
Turns
it
into
could be
Brother, I
whatever.
Found You.
But yeah, dude, I got you. Yeah. You know, it's the hearing that and then trying to open your mind up and being clear when you sit out the studio and start getting stuff mixed.
That's,
where it's hard
that's
to
such
get
a
rid of
great
it.
point because I think that actually does point out our methodology in that sometimes our sessions start with an idea or maybe even with a point of view or an opinion of like,
Yeah.
hey dude, what do you think about this? Like, I think this. And that's really before it even becomes musical, it's just an idea.
Yeah.
Does that make
Right,
sense?
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
totally.
Makes sense.
Am I
1,000.
tripping?
No.
No.
But
Am I
that's-
drinking
maybe.
too much 805?
Yeah, but I mean that's
sense,
what it's supposed to. I mean,
Right.
that's where
It's
you know what I mean.
inspired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Leonard
That's
Skinner
the word.
didn't sit down
Right.
in a garage and go, "Hey man, I heard this shit over here the other day.
Right.
Let's blow out this Freebird riff."
It's a
You know
lot
what I
like
mean?
how the Bible was written.
Right, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's inspired.
Yeah, to put it lightly.
totally.
A
Yeah.
bunch
put it
of
lightly.
words.
So
that
God's
have
talking
no,
to us, and so we're saying like, "Hey, God, what do you
Yeah.
think about this?" Yeah,
100%, man. It's just like that creative. I've written whole entire albums on one theme. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
and it's like, what is the theme? What does it propel you to do? What does it fucking? How does it speak to
the
you?
motivation?
And I talk all the time about the creative mind. Like when you open up yourself to being creative, you literally, if you can put yourself in that zone and then allow shit to just come out of the ether and grab it, right? Like whether it's a sample, it's a fucking, you know, like the first Wrath album that I did
Yeah.
was, I had these insane samples from this Metallica documentary where it was like filming, it was made by a dude that toured with Metallica but thought they were fucking tools. And he
Yeah.
made a whole side documentary about how fucking douchey they were.
That's awesome.
And he would film guys in the parking lot and like, you know, it was almost like heavy metal parking lot.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
You know,
yeah.
and I can't for the life of me fucking remember.
From
but-
fucking Mars,
well,
man.
dude, it was like he'd be interviewing with some like hick in fucking Tennessee. And he's like,
Sure.
it takes a hell of a lot more than fucking lightning and big trees to scare me, motherfucker. And I'm like,
Hell yeah.
I'm writing a whole fucking song about that.
Right.
That's
you know,
dope.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
So like you hearing, you know, some whatever like
Yeah.
Buddhist chant or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like it's a weird thing to be able to tap into that creative space and then to find another person that's like willing to go with you on that journey.
Big time.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's fucking,
totally.
it's a rare fucking thing, man.
to be
Yeah.
open to that. Yeah,
yeah.
It's
right.
that same weird, like, what is it, synchronicity or things that you can fall into when you're like at a bar and you're just talking to people that are sitting next to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
We
like,
both
weird
love.
straight-
Now
Oh,
we're
fuck.
on my wavelength.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we're there.
there's so many times where I'm like, I should have brought my fucking headphones.
100%,
And
yeah.
then there's other times where I'm like, no headphones necessary. This person's so fucking interesting next to me, and it's I kind of live for that. We've talked about this a
both do,
lot. We
yeah.
both live for this. I'm sure you guys do, but where you just go sometimes to a bar and open yourself up to whatever the fuck someone else wants to talk
Right.
about. You don't
100%.
super push your desire or what you want to push into there.
Jay's whole life.
Yeah.
It
Right.
literally,
I love
it
that shit.
We're
literally,
bringing meaning to
I
your life.
literally,
Yeah.
dude, I have traveled all over Western United States. I've flown into Eastern United States. Wherever the fuck I go, I don't care where it is. Give me any time to where I get a chance to go do something. I'm gonna go. Oh, there's a little fucking shithole.
Yeah.
There's a good little bar. There's something, and I
Airports.
go sit.
Right.
Airports are great.
I go sit by myself.
Yep.
I'll put a lot of the times I'll have a podcast going in my ear.
Sure.
Right.
But it'll
Just
be
in
one
case.
ear.
Yeah.
Just one ear, and I will sit there and listen. And I don't care if it's sitting next to Craig or all of a sudden I'm sitting next to Craig's wife, Rosie.
Right.
And then I'm like, hey. So yeah, the kids. Oh, you're a teacher. Oh, what's going on? And
Right.
I have done it everywhere you can imagine.
It's the best.
It is without a doubt.
Yeah.
I've ridden my Harley up and down the West Coast and have stopped at every fucking bar I could find. And my favorite thing is to go sit down and just listen for a minute
rap.
and then start talking to people.
Yeah.
And then you get to know, like I just did it through last year. I did it through New Mexico and all this stuff. And when I came back, one of the first things I was talking with him about was like, these political lines are bullshit.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
the fucking
100%.
same.
Everyone's
Once
the
I
same.
get out there,
Yeah.
because I go into all these places and I talk to this old fucking 89-year-old man that he's like, oh, where are you from? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm from California. He's like, oh, you don't bring your politics here. I'm like, man, I'm not trying to bring my politics here.
Right.
Right.
You know, he's like, I'm just here to talk to you. What do you have going on? Well, I'm going to go up here and do this, and I'm going to
break
go
'em
fix the
down.
fence, and
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, look, I don't want to bring what I'm like. I'm not saying my politics in California are correct, but I am saying that I want to talk to you
They're
because
also
you're
not
fucking
mine.
interesting.
Yeah.
100%.
100%, and which most of California, I think, is
Unless
like, we're
you're from
tired of
Florida.
this shit.
Right.
Well,
There's this one guy
hold on real quick.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
My man,
About
my man.
Florida, no. There's not a single person here that doesn't want to go party in Florida.
Oh, I
Right.
do.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We
I-
could talk
I've-
about how fucking
I've
nuts they
never
are.
not
Fucking
But
love
I am
Florida.
so
I hear the
ready.
strip clubs
Yeah.
in Tampa are
Yeah, dude,
another
fuck
level.
that. The coke in Miami is out of control, dude. I'm gonna blow my fucking nostrils out
we're
if I ever
trying to
get
tour.
down there.
We're
We used
going
to
to
play
Tampa, baby.
the Rav used to play the Fest in Florida in
I love
Gainesville.
the Fest.
which
Oh,
is
hell
swamp
yeah.
I
land.
saw you at the fest.
Really?
Yeah, me and my brother went and traveled out to the fest
shit!
one year.
Okay, awesome,
Dude,
dude.
I can't even remember what year. Anyway,
I don't
sorry.
know. Yeah.
It was a long time
but-
ago.
Fanboy moment there.
dude, Florida is fucking nuts.
I
dude.
fanboy over him all the time.
Yeah, I
man.
know.
Just different things. Usually
Yeah.
when I fanboy over him, he doesn't have clothes on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's why you're over him.
Keep it sexy. You gotta keep the
Fanning
fucking
some.
love.
Yeah,
in the
we know who the
relationship,
top
Yeah.
is.
No, we did.
know?
Jeff and I went and saw you at the fest.
yeah. Really?
We were so stoned. We did a road trip across country.
Damn.
We had a half pound of weed.
Oh shit.
And we
That's
smoked,
how
we
you start
smoked
a road
the
trip.
whole way, dude.
That's how you
Through
start a road
Texas, where we
trip.
could have got like
Yeah.
federal
Oh,
charges,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember much more than
Yeah.
that. But
So the Raft used to tour. Yeah, that's fine. So the Raft used to tour with weed,
yeah.
and we would sell
That was how you
special
made it.
LPs.
Oh, dope.
And this is in the early 2000s when you couldn't get good California weed
Right,
anywhere,
right.
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
So John Scheimer, one of my best
He
friends.
sent us weed in
Oh,
Colorado on our way back.
He
yeah.
was the fucking plug for
Shout
many
out
people.
John
So
Scheimer.
Sorry,
we'd tour with like pounds, dude.
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
we would like hide it and shit, and then
Yeah.
we would sell LPs.
You got a
that,
pack
like,
of socks coming
Well,
in
it
the
was
mail.
like a regular LP would be $20, and then for 30 or 40, you could get a fucking gram of weed with it.
Hell
Right.
yeah.
And we would fucking
That's awesome.
we would sell out of merch, dude. The
Right.
record label was like, "What the fuck's going
You
on?"
see records in the trash
Like,
on the way
yeah,
out.
We'd be drilling records like all over the place.
They're all
Everyone's like,
stuck to the
"What
telephone
is
pole.
happening
You know what I
here,
mean?
dude?
They're
Like,
just
what
all
the
stuck. Oh, there's a bunch of albums stuck to the
Yeah,
telephone
people
pole.
were fucking tripping, dude. They're like, "How are you selling this many records?" I was like,
Well, you
not
can
gonna
smoke
say
our
anything.
records.
Yeah.
So,
"It's going pretty good out here." But yeah, the fest, like Florida shit, was awesome, dude. Like,
is the fest still going?
I don't think so.
God,
but
dude,
yeah,
that was
I
a
wish.
bomb.
Yeah, it was great.
Because we went to see Planes Mistaken for Stars
Yeah.
back then, and
Yeah,
we
yeah.
saw you guys and Lawrence Arms and a couple other
Fuck yeah.
people.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
I saw the singer for Lawrence Arms, right? He's
Brendan Kelly.
the
Brendan.
big fat dude.
No,
No. The
I mean,
Dillinger,
he wasn't there.
Dillinger 4.
Pipe
Oh,
down
yeah.
the
That's-
sizes.
I'm
bro.
sorry.
St.
Dillinger
Patty,
4.
the bass
Pipe down
player.
the sizes.
Which-
I saw that fool like completely passed out, hammered
I love
on
that
the
guy.
floor, like outside of the venue before they played, dude.
Fuck
And you're
yeah.
like- and he had like some weird tattoo on his forehead, it's like "fuck art" or something like.
No,
dude,
his
yeah.
chest. It says, "How much art can you take?"
How much art can you take?
Yeah.
He was a fucking savage.
Fun
dude.
fact,
love that
same
guy.
trip, we went to see you guys. We went up to Minnesota. I went to his bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what do they call what's it called?
I forget.
Triple Rock.
It's like St. Paul or something.
Yeah,
Triple Rock up in St.
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
dope.
Yeah, man. It was. Those are wild times. But Florida, no one has ever had a bad time in Florida.
I love Florida.
Yeah.
It's great. It's demonized as fuck now.
Yeah, my daughter literally this morning was like reading me Florida Man articles.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking endless.
It's hard not to. It's not that it's demonized. It's just there's a factual thing that happens in Florida where there's the craziest shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like before internet, like really was a huge thing. I don't
called
know if
freedom.
It was yeah. Or it's called
dude.
meth.
Right. Yeah, or math.
Yeah, but
Living with
yeah.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, when you, I was,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was one of the L.A. radio stations, and I don't know which. It was Frosty, Heidi, and Frank,
Yeah,
or whoever
probably
it
Heidi and
was.
Frank, yeah.
But one of them be like shit that happened in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And this was before, like, we all had access to it, and
Yeah.
it'd be like,
Yeah.
dude wearing diaper rides crocodile across Disneyland Bridge wearing a rainbow
Florida.
flag.
Yeah,
Right.
visiting
Florida,
sister wife.
Heidi
you know,
Frank had-
yeah.
had
I mean,
a-
it's
had-
just
had a
it's
segment that
that
was Florida
And who
or
says you're not
anywhere
supposed
else.
to live
Yeah.
that way?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not.
Who
you know,
says?
yeah, I'm not.
Don't
I'm not
tread
doing
on
it,
me.
But
You know
Who
what I mean?
fucking says?
Don't
Yeah.
tread on me.
yeah, we should
Totally.
all be able to ride alligators with rainbow flags,
Yeah.
holding Bud Light cans. You know what I
I'll
mean?
tell you what though, man. When you see a fucking gator in real life, you're like,
oh, dude, I
this
ain't.
thing's
Oh,
a,
man,
this is
fuck
a
that.
problem.
I'm not going there.
Like,
You see those people, some guys that they're like, they run up to the gator and with like
Oh,
a fly
I
swatter,
love
they
it.
get it away from their dog. It's
Yeah.
like, what the
Dude.
fuck? Like, how is that possible?
My
crazy.
favorite one is the dude where the gator comes out and goes after his dog, and
Bites
that
his dog.
fucking dude
Yeah.
jumps in there and
Not
beats the
today,
shit out of the gator
motherfucker.
and grabs his fucking dog. I'm
Totally,
like, that's
dude.
a man.
Now, that's
that
American.
dude has. That's
Yeah.
you don't fuck with my poodle.
And on the
Right.
flip, you see that kid just recently that was drinking and went behind the bar to take a piss and lost his arm
No.
from the gator. You know about that shit?
No.
So this kid, he's like 18, 19, 23, somewhere in there. And he,
can you find it?
yeah, he's
You
drinking
gotta
with his
turn that
friend.
monitor
Off,
on,
Kenny.
on the bottom,
He's drinking with his friends
right side bottom button, dude. Let's see if
man,
Kenny
Kenny.
can find
Right
that
near the
motherfucker.
poof the
We just
hole.
figured out how to fucking share audio, dude.
Hell yeah.
Or video shit.
Can I get another one of these?
Absolutely.
How does that work?
You just
grab
gotta-
it.
Does Kenny have
Go
to
over
do
there.
everything? Hey, Kenny,
No,
get one.
Kenny-
Get a beer while you do that too, please, Kenny.
He's
Kenny,
the,
what kind of
he's-
gas
he's our
mileage does
young
your car
Jamie,
get?
but he gets paid nothing, dude.
Yeah.
How'd you get stuck with the beats, Kenny?
Florida kid
Pissing.
loses arm, alligator.
Pissing Florida
Give me
kid
one, Jay.
loses arm.
Yeah, Florida arm.
Underage
Alligator.
boy loses pissing arm.
Yeah.
So he's
there you go.
behind a bar. He's like, I'm gonna go take a piss. He goes back there. His friends are like, where the fuck is he? They go back there, and he lost his. The alligator
sir.
came out and straight up fucking ate his arm, and he's like,
What the
it's just
fuck?
missing. He's just rolling near the cusp of the river and the bank. Is that it?
Is
It'll
he a
probably-
kid or is he
somewhere.
like an-
I mean, I don't know if
mid-sized
that's him. I never saw his face, but like
I
you
don't
can
see
find
the piss in this one.
you
but-
can find the video where he's
Yeah.
just like,
We'll
oh
try to
hell
find it
yeah,
here.
dude.
Oh shit!
What's that?
It's a
Honestly,
Oh,
let's be honest
Thank
though.
you.
If
Thank
you're
you.
pissing and you end up losing your arm, you're winning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you were exposed.
That's true.
You could have lost a lot more.
Yeah, totally.
I do like calling it my arm, but
Yeah, maybe just stick with Google, Kenny, and see what comes up under videos.
Thank you.
brother.
Yeah, but Florida's
How is
nuts,
that?
dude. But
It's good. Oh, whoa! This is different than the ooze goose goose.
No, you
you
don't
want
want
more ooze though, man. I that stuff's disgusting to me.
I'm Greek, and
Yeah, it goes
this
down.
got brought on by my buddy Chris, who went to Greece, brought back some ouzo. It's horrendous.
It's
dude.
so gross.
Like, you
brought
like
ouzo?
black licorice, you don't.
There's
I
something
fucking
wrong
don't.
with me because I didn't give a fuck. I was just like, went down.
Yeah.
you're all about
Oh
the
shit! There you
Kuzo.
are. Right
Yeah,
there,
dude. Something in the middle right there looks right, Kenny. Florida man, you're right there.
Yeah, Pornhub, Kenny, right
Yeah,
there,
right
looks
there.
good.
Oh
Pornhub.
man,
Don't look at my algorithm, dude. There might be some training
no,
shit.
dude.
put a little more
That's not
rhythm
it.
in the algorithm.
That's
there,
my kids. That's my kids' podcast. Get rid of that.
I swear tranny fluid was just
shitheads.
because I was looking up mechanics.
Hey, do you guys? Okay, this is something that I've been fascinated by.
Speaking of tranny fluid.
I mean, no, it's because really, I don't ever recalling thinking of trannies or trans or whatever we're supposed to call them.
Mm-hmm.
I've never thought about them in any way.
Yeah.
Like I've never.
You've
if
never
I
been
saw-
so
You're
turned on by
aware,
them.
but
Well,
you're
no,
not
I mean,
like- yeah,
no.
yeah.
What I'm saying is, I've never seen
Yeah.
I've never seen a dude walking down the street in a dress and was like, I got to whatever. It was like,
It's all been
interesting.
porn based
And then
for
If
me
you
growing
can't
up.
find it, Kenny, don't trip.
Well, no, I'm talking about how much of a big deal it is right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like it to me. It's always been a non-deal. It's just been
I
nothing.
see it as locker room talk, where it's like you could be sitting with your friends and be like, I got this fucking sick blowjob from this bitch. And it's like, all right, well, there's that kind of conversation.
Cool.
But you don't need to like. It's not impressive. And now we're like the. I don't even want to say the world because it's really through the eyes of internet and your phone and the news, legacy news, where it's like, now that's a thing. It's a big deal, but it's only when you look in certain places. And it's locker room talk where it's like, here's my pronouns, here's who I fuck, here's who I like to fuck, here's how I view sexuality and my gender and da-da-da, and every day it might be different tomorrow. Okay, so there's that aspect of it, right? Where it's like, you're just talking about shit that no one wants to fucking hear about. And the second aspect of it is, if you're a no talent fucking ass clown who doesn't do anything and create anything and make anything or put out any kind of effort to share interesting ideas with the community, now you have an idea, a way to get attention. Now you could be like, I know I'm just the barista who's supposed to microwave your fucking English muffin, but you have to refer to me a certain way. I'm special today. It's a whole nother fucking like.
That's a great point.
It's nonsensical bullshit. But like, I think it was you, Jay, that was saying earlier, like, they're just finding ways to like throw some grit to carp.
Create distance.
Yeah, we're
just
like
keep everybody against each other.
Yeah, and for what? Why? So we don't understand if UFOs are real? You know what I mean? Like it's some other fucking thing. Like
Yeah, which now we know all is real.
Oh, it's fucking real.
Oh yeah, no, it's real.
We knew it was real,
awesome.
but now we know it's real.
No, again, no. Growing up as a kid, when I was growing up,
Yeah.
there was no.
It was more blurred by the lines of sci-fi.
Well, because we didn't have any. There was
Comics.
no. We didn't have. It was like
didn't have podcasts.
No,
shit.
we didn't have anything.
Yeah.
It was like I saw some lights
Well,
in
you
the
knew
sky.
who you
This
could
is
literally touch.
Yeah,
Could be
yeah.
anything.
And so like okay, that could be. And then my dad would be like, well, no, that's actually there's a satellite up there.
Yeah.
There's this up there. This is
Turns
and
out
my
you're
dad
retarded, kid.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I'm like, oh, Dad, you're gonna call me out for being retarded? Really?
You can't
Pops?
say that,
Really?
Dad.
Yeah, your dad.
Come on, Pops.
God
You know,
fucks 8
yeah.
dead
I'll see you in
ghosts.
40 years, Dad.
Yeah.
No, I will say, growing up in Fillmore, which is a whole thing. In itself,
Yeah, you like sheep.
The local hardware store had a hermaphrodite, and as a
Best
clerk.
of both worlds.
As a clerk, yeah. Well, you.
What do you mean? Like
A hermaphrodite, like her name was Michael Michelle, and
way to call her out?
it was
on the podcast
obviously a
and
man who identified as a woman. But hermaphrodite means they have both genitalia. I
They
think.
really had both.
And I only know this because I loved It's Pat the Movie.
Yeah.
Remember that SNL, right?
They
So
take you
good.
seriously when you
So
tell them
good.
to go fuck themselves.
Before trans, we had hermaphrodites. We had
Right.
It's Pat the Movie, which was so hilarious.
Yes. Or Jamie Lee
Right.
Curtis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorgeous Hermie I've ever fucking seen. in
I
my
had
life,
no
dude.
idea about that.
Yeah, she
but
was a hermaphrodite.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
thinking about that
No,
tonight.
dude.
Thank
Brought
you.
up by Tony
Yeah.
Lee
He'll change the whole
Curtis,
game, dude.
Yeah,
who came out
totally.
as gay. Coincidence? I don't
think
know.
not.
Touche.
Interesting.
But
Wow. Holy shit, dude. Wow.
the
I
bond-
don't know. Apple doesn't
Wow.
fall far from
Wow.
the fucking lemon tree.
Dude.
If we're getting into
Didn't
politics,
even- yeah,
though, like,
wow.
isn't the point to like not be in the forefront? And to be accepted.
It's just
Again, I think the people that are actually there,
I'm not a
don't want to
hermaphrodite,
be
so
in
I
the
don't know.
forefront.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're stoked on getting fingers pointed at them all the
Right.
time.
It's always
I think it's
the-
these individuals that are just, I need me.
Right.
Big
I
time.
need to be the barista. I want to be
Virtue
able to
signaling.
say
Hostage
exactly.
to ego.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
Right.
most of the people I know, and I'm not saying that all of them, because there's some of them where I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, man, you're a dick.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
And a pussy.
And
Yeah,
have a
and-
dick.
together.
And a pussy.
But-
together.
most people I know don't care. They just want to pay their rent.
Yeah.
They just want to get their car fixed. They just want to get food on their table. They just want to have fun.
Even the
I want to
people-
hang out and have these conversations. I don't want to go like, oh man, I guess you obviously look like you could be either way. So
Yeah.
what do I do? You know what I
Right.
mean?
You're like, what's your pronoun? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Right.
But most of them don't give a shit,
Yeah.
right?
I would even
yeah.
say the ones that aren't just the ones that aren't the demographic that are just trying to pay their rent. They're the ones that are like, no, respect my fucking pronouns. I think, well, you're trying to pay your rent too, but you're also trying to make a fucking little debacle about yourself.
so if you want me to respect your pronouns, are you going to respect me?
no.
So
it doesn't
are you
seem that
going
way.
to
White,
respect
fat
me as
piece
a
of shit racist male.
especially if you look at
No,
me.
we
You know what I
can't
mean? Like
as
I
white men.
look like I'm the problem in their opinion.
Yeah.
So if you want me to respect your pronoun, are you going to actually respect like what I do and who I am?
Right.
Well, we're not going to have that conversation. Well, why not? Because and then
Yeah.
I do spend a lot of time around other good people that are like saying the same thing and they're on the other side. And they're saying they're
Yep.
joking and they're talking shit and they're going, we don't want to hear this shit. You know, we're just all trying to pay our bills. We're all just trying to have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, why this is
I
all
don't-
we're doing is creating divide amongst communities that don't need, but
that
we're
feel
also
good?
spoiled because we live
I
here.
don't know much about the subject, and I don't necessarily care to.
Fucking Herm, don't lie.
All
I
I
know.
know is that as a
The
white
tightness of that
male,
shirt's expressing something different.
it's not tight
Yeah.
by choice. Okay. As a white male, I can't have an opinion about
Right.
this.
Yeah.
And I get that because I'm the default. I'm the guy who is born with the respect. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So
There's
I
a
don't know what it
certain
feels
element-
like to not
Yeah.
be white and not be male.
Right.
I can't speak upon it, so I'm
And in a
I'm a slave
privileged
to
state.
whatever
That's
societies.
cultural appropriation, sir.
Well, and you know
But
what?
do the
I was
people-
born with that appropriation.
Do the people on the opposite end of the spectrum know what it feels like to be you?
No, they don't. But you know what? I'm
You mean to win
on the
all time,
checkerboard.
dude?
I've been kinged from birth.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's how it's seen.
Yeah.
Like before I even have to make it across the board, I've already been kinged.
But then you run through our legal records and it's like, are
Right.
we really fucking winning?
totally.
Are we winning?
Yeah, you're right. The Ventura police have gotten the best of me. There's no doubt about
I'm
that.
not gonna rat him
Right.
out, but he's got his shit and I've
Right.
got my legal shit and
Right.
I'm in
Yeah,
court
I
all
don't
the
get a
fucking
pass.
time.
Yeah, I
but
know, I
also,
haven't got a
you're
pass
you're not a
3
black dude
times.
that got thrown in jail for 30
Right.
years for
Exactly.
weed. You know?
Exactly.
So there is like a bit of that white privilege shit.
So, but
and I
how do you have an
understand it.
opinion
You're allowed
when
to have
you're
an
at that?
opinion, dude.
Well,
But
I mean,
here's
you
here's
are,
what I'll
but
say.
how much weight does your opinion hold when
If
you're
you-
Your
not-
if you-
opinion
you
holds
carry-
weight when you come from a place of love and understanding.
was that an iron cross
Bingo.
up there?
It is actually, yeah. But like your opinion holds weight when people that know you and love you and respect you understand
Right.
that you don't give a fuck about what they are.
Well,
Like I worked at Wild Planet, which
Right.
was owned by a gay drag queen savage.
Right.
I worked around a lot of fucking gay dudes, and it was like right after I left religion, essentially.
Sure.
And it was a rude awakening into the fucking gay community,
The real
And
world.
like I said, a little bit of it made me jealous because these guys are out here getting the fucking job done, dude.
Right.
They're fucking in parking lots. They're just fucking doing their thing.
Way
They
too
get it.
productive.
But the only real trans person I've ever really met was in the construction world.
Are you talking about Caltrans?
Yeah. So no, I literally am. Literally, yeah. Like, so I worked with this dude. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And I have to tell my students this all the time because this
love that
harassment,
website, by the way.
discrimination, like it's everywhere, dude. Like I have to give this whole harassment speech every fucking semester at the beginning of every semester. And what I tell them all the time is that I knew this dude that I worked with in Bakersfield that was the most miserable
of course, Bakersfield.
fucking human I've ever worked with in my life. We fought every day, almost came to fucking fist fight. I met him 10 years later as a woman, as a full-blown woman. Tits. She's still 6'4". She's big as fuck. The whole fucking deal, right?
Not fist fight, but fist something at that point.
The most pleasant, like easy to work with fucking person I've ever worked with since then. Whatever was fucking digging at this
Calling
dude.
her easy?
No, like it was like it was a pleasure to work with. You know, like
right.
And whereas we had this history,
They
of being
became
like,
comfortable with
like,
themselves.
Literally, fuck
Yeah,
you,
they.
like whatever it was, like, and it made me realize like there are humans in this world that are stuck in a thing that they don't want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fucking everyone.
Yeah.
Now
Called
I deal
taxes.
with my children.
Yeah.
Who are. It's the woke thing is happening. My daughter has
They're in the
gone
middle
through
of
all
the
this
woke
shit,
era.
right?
Yeah.
And I've had to
sure.
sit my daughter down and tell her that I love you, I respect you.
But I'm still going to say retard.
Yeah. I love you, I respect you. I don't care who you love. I don't care. None of that matters.
None of it.
You're accepted.
Also fucking gross.
But we never had
I don't
that.
need to fucking know that
But
you're
we
a
never
lesbian.
had that, right?
None of that. No, we never had it, but I don't give a fuck.
Right. I
Right?
like that.
But now
I feel that.
I had to sit my daughter down and I told her one day, I said, listen, if your pronouns, your gender, and your sexual fucking identity are the most interesting things about you,
then you're not my daughter.
you're the most boring human I've ever met.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Totally.
It's
That's
the
what defines
least,
you?
I mean, it can't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
But
better
I
than
think
that.
that people just, I
Right.
think that all these people,
For sure.
Sorry,
we don't
keep
have-
trying to bring comedy into this. Sorry.
we
got
don't.
you.
No, it's what's the best about us. Like that's what makes us men. Period. Like whatever it is, we cannot not do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes work to not say fucked up shit. Like I just cherish every fucking chance I get to say that
I
he's
don't
racist.
bite my tongue, I
There's
bite my
nothing
mind.
about him racist. Nothing at all. He's
he
had
brings
so
up
many
a lot.
black
He's very
men run
sensitive.
trains on him.
Right.
Like he's been
I've
DNA'd
watched it.
into being almost black.
I'm
You know what I mean?
literally 2%
He's
African.
been
He's got so much black
been
DNA
load
on
dumped
him.
into him so hard. I mean, his ass is like a big old black ass at this point, and he's just a receptacle for giant black jizz.
Use
that you
23
just,
and me, we're all there.
Yeah,
Right.
we know
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not.
It's
you
a
know what I mean?
Caltrans parking lot. All
but
the equipment in
it
there.
is. I enjoy that aspect of it, which is what we keep
It's
doing.
how we deal with uncomfortable subjects. As
100%, man.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
hey, let's make fun of it. Let's make light of it.
therapy,
You know what I mean?
self-therapy.
Yeah. It's like that's how we get through it.
Yep.
Dude, I had surgery on my nose, and I had to. I lay there, and
I didn't
I
want
got
to
to
say
go in.
anything,
Thank
but yeah,
you.
I
Yeah,
noticed.
but
Thank you, by the
when I
way.
went in there to go get the surgery, I'm laying there, and all I can do is keep just
Sucking.
Yeah.
just like
Fucking around.
there was a lady that came over and
Hell
she
yeah,
was
dude.
sitting there with me, and then 5 minutes later she walked by the thing, and when she walked by, I immediately was like, hey. And started talking because I was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
And so all I know how to do is just like talk shit.
Right.
All I
didn't
know is how to
they
bring
can make
everybody in there.
foreskin look
Yeah,
so
yeah.
normal.
Oh,
And I mean,
dude,
you know what I mean?
Dude, you do not know
You weren't
anything about
circumcised
foreskin.
before.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Yes. Obviously. You know.
Wait,
I've
did
always-
Jehovah's Witnesses cut their kids, or are you guys all fucking
I was
hanging?
cut.
You
Yeah.
were cut? You're cut
Yeah,
too?
you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Are we
Jehovah's-
getting into that?
Well, you know,
Well, let's do it.
We're
What a
talking
great
about
segue.
trans.
Yeah.
We might as well talk about Jehovah's. They're both
Yeah.
you know
Dun,
not
dun, 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 dun.
Just as depressing. Yeah.
Bring it in, Craig. Go ahead.
do it.
No, I just
Lean
was,
in.
you know,
No,
all
it
that
hurt.
shit
It cut to
aside,
the
man,
core,
like,
Craig. Let's
when you
hear
really
it.
meet people who fucking are in the thing that they're following what they want to do, it's fine. There's a whole trend going on, and that's fucking fine, dude. Like, my kids have taught me so many things about myself, and
dude.
pointed out so many biases that I have because I am who I am.
They check
but,
you.
But I also, my kids are savages, and they understand that I love and respect them, and they're fucking.
Hell yeah.
They have me saying gay. They're calling me gay all the time. They're fucking. My daughter. And
not just me.
I've said like a million things. My daughter comes in, says she's gay, and says the most crazy shit to me.
Yeah.
You know, and like understands that I'm gonna laugh and she's gonna laugh and it's all good. So it does. It
Because
does
no one's
make
trying
me
to be
have-
hurtful.
Yeah.
No, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
from
yeah.
a place of love. I accept
get
her.
it.
I love her. I don't give a fuck. I told her like
Fuck yeah.
when she told me she was gay, I was like, ew, gross. Right. Well, first of all, second of all, I don't
because
fucking
vaginas are
care.
gross.
Third of all, like.
Yeah.
eat some pussy, talk to me.
Right. Yeah,
You know?
totally.
And then
Let me
fourth of
show you
all,
how to
like,
do it.
Explain to me
I
how to do
still
it better.
love you, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like,
Can you
I
give
don't
me
even
pointers?
know. I'm your fucking dad, dude.
But
like,
you know what's beautiful about it is, I think it's great. I'm not a parent,
Right.
and maybe someday
we
I
can
will
tell.
be. I'm not sure.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, but how
Apparently,
great
you
that
can't figure out how to
can-
get a shirt to fit you.
Dude, I've been gaining weight, John. All right,
Dude,
hook
I don't
me
know if
up.
you know this,
I know
but
you got some
him and-
XLs that you grew
dude,
out a
your
long
brother
time
has
ago.
XLs.
I
bro.
gave up XLs in junior high.
I
buddy.
know, bro.
Yeah,
Hit
you're
me-
on the wrong.
Hit me with some XLs.
He's
First
holding
of
on
all,
that medium high,
You're
dude.
way past an XL.
Hey,
bro.
I would say your brother is the
your
king of
bra
sizes
is an
next to small
XL.
firms.
Your
I
bra
need a
might be
TC
an
Tugger. I
XL.
just need a TC Tugger on this thing. Okay. Hell yeah. That aside, how great to have an opportunity to be the parent that you should have had.
Well, yeah.
I'm not trying to
love
shit
my
on
dad,
anybody's
man.
parents.
Yeah.
I'm
For
not
real
trying to-
though. For real.
But you know what I
Yeah.
mean? To be able to accept it and not implies or not like project some religious
dogma.
or some agenda on your kids,
Yeah.
and to say, hey, it's okay to be whatever you want. Like, dude, how much more? I guess we're all pretty well adjusted, so it must have worked. But at the same
that's a
time,
stretch.
Maybe religion is the
sure,
answer.
it's a stretch. But
Yours is
you know what I
really a
mean?
stretch.
Like, I don't know. Maybe okay, we're getting super deep here, but maybe
let's go, man. I got you.
Maybe I would have been more well adjusted with parents that were accepting.
Right.
Hey, I'll
Maybe not.
Because you guys.
Maybe
guys
I ended
both
up who
grew
I am because I had parents that
in a
weren't
pretty-
accepting.
Hey, I'll expand
Gnarly.
on that, man.
Hell yeah.
I went through
I have
a
to pee
lot
so
of.
Are you not
really...
gonna make a shirt joke on the expansion?
No, for reals. I'll get back to that though, for sure.
Okay, can we
But,
green
hey,
screen this, please?
I really went through a lot of shit growing up. You know, I went to
Yeah.
13 different schools before I went to high school. I moved all the time. My
Nobody
dad
wanted
was a
you, is
heroin
that what you
addict.
mean?
Well, yeah. Dad was a heroin addict, and mom was out doing what she was doing, and I went through all this shit. But even through my dad being a heroin addict and doing all what he was doing, he was like, hey, Dad, what's up with God? Well, son, here's the deal.
God hates
This is how we grew up. My grandma was Catholic. We're Irish. Grew up with that. He goes, I didn't agree with it, but I'm not going to tell you not to agree with it. What I'm going to tell you to do is here's the 5 major religions. Study them for yourself and get back to me when you're ready.
That's awesome.
And so,
Dope.
like, all the shit that I went through
Yeah.
leads into me being the face tattooed heroin addict prison dude that's never, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because I had, like, I
freedom.
didn't have all the other stuff. I had a pops that was like straight up. My dad, we lived in the middle of nowhere. We had black people. We had Mexican people. There was no black people and Mexican people where we were at. They did not exist
Right.
in the area.
A lot
We
of
had
inbreeders, though, it seems
with
like.
a lot
maybe.
of definitely a lot of like middle class
Really got
racist
along with them.
assholes
Yeah.
that judged me for being white trash. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I wasn't called the N-word, but I was treated like one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was treated horrendous by principals and teachers and students.
Low in
like,
the hierarchy
oh
of
my
whatever
God, dude, I
the
was at the bottom of the
eco
list.
was,
the
yeah.
very bottom of the list constantly. But my father and the people around me, and my father's still to this day, he's 80 some years old. He's one of my favorite people in the whole fucking
Sure.
world, man. That dude had no judgment. He didn't give a shit
Open
if you
book.
were sucking dick, if you were black, if you were dressing in a dress. He did, and there was never there was
Right.
nothing
yeah.
that went along with it. And I think that's why I've
Yeah.
been blessed and I've been lucky to where I've actually came out with like not really giving a shit about it. Also not like seeing other people and going, why is that even a thing with you, you fucking moron?
Right.
Like why is that even, that doesn't make sense, man. You know what I mean? If you want to wear a shirt that's too small, wear a shirt that's too small.
Can I make a
Yeah.
point
You know
real
what I
quick,
mean?
John? Let me interject.
It's Jay.
Jay.
We keep
well,
doing it,
you
man.
should
Yeah.
be John. That's my name. But,
Yeah. I stopped
I
fucking
think
around with
that's
hookers.
why some of us are so starkly hit with this trans people thing or whatever, because at the start of it, none of us gave a fuck.
Not even a little bit, man.
We never thought twice about it.
I still don't.
We're like, why?
No.
Why does it have
No,
to be in
for
the
sure.
forefront? Because it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Those
And
same
why do you
people
want
that
the
he talks
attention?
about at
Because-
Wild Planet, I
and
would
like-
go hug and say hi.
Right. And
Yeah.
like we've said, most of the people who are actually living that life, they don't want to be in the forefront, but they're being forced to by
Forced
other
into
people.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Because
100%.
we've always been accepting, and we've always never thought twice about it.
No. I got so
I've
much
never
more shit to worry
chosen
about.
who I hung out with
Yeah.
because of their sexuality.
I got bills to pay,
Comments
man.
are gonna go wild on this fucking shit.
We'll see. We'll see. I
don't know.
Hey, one of my favorite things, back to Scout and all the other things we was talking about a minute ago. One of my favorite things was that my daughter was in like early high school, mid to high school, and she comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, Dad, I just want to tell you that I've got a girlfriend and I'm really into women." And I went, "Sweet."
Tight.
That's awesome.
Tight.
And I didn't say anything to her. I
That's
was
a
like,
great fucking story.
Hey,
You got
hold
time
on,
to
hold
tell
on.
it again?
Hold on. But what I did, because I'm not going to tell her this stuff, but
Yeah,
when she
yeah.
said that, I'm like, hey, man, whatever you want to do, kid. It's on you. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
I walked away with that with the biggest fucking smile on my face and
Right.
so fucking happy. My kid's not going to be pregnant for however long it's going to
100%,
take.
yeah.
Hey,
That's all I thought.
that-
For
I
sure.
really
It was
thought
my
like,
first
like
thought.
whatever
Yeah.
you want to do is fine, man.
That is cool.
If this is what happens and you stick with it, then that's what happens. You
Right.
stick with it. I don't care. You're my baby. I love you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But along with that, I'm not going to get a fucking
Right.
pregnant daughter in
No
high
pregnancy
school because this
scares,
is where
yeah.
you're at. And if that's
My
what you wanna do,
grandma
that's
asked
fine.
me once, she's like, how would you feel? Because she's very religious. How would you feel if your child told you they were gay? I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Nope.
Like, I really don't.
No.
And she's like, think about it, Majito. Da, 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 da. And I was like,
Oh boy.
I really don't care. Like, if you hold that much judgment, ready to go, ready to fire off,
right.
like
Yeah.
you're the one that's fucking holding poison
Yeah.
in
It's
your
your
own
fucking
shit.
problem.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
a
yeah.
you problem.
Hey, and all of this being said, real quick, I don't know if you can get this, which camera I'm on, but I do want to say we do understand that there's a lot of people out there that don't feel the way that we feel and that they don't get this and that they're assholes about it. And we do understand that. And we are supporting our community.
Yep.
And I mean our entire community.
Fuck
and
yeah.
those people that are like, fuck black people, fuck Mexicans, fuck trans, fuck whatever. All of you guys, hopefully you can figure out how ignorant you are and get back on the program. We are talking about us being where we come from and open-minded and not really caring, and we want
Right.
the best for
Yeah.
our community.
Yeah. I
You know,
love
because
agree
we
with that.
say all this
I
shit,
love
but
free-
I agree with
we've
that
been
shit,
around
dude.
people that are,
Right.
you know, like seriously
They got their
homophobic
butthole in
and
Oh,
a
yeah,
clench,
100%.
and they're like,
Oh,
"Hey, no one talks. We can't bring up that." Okay, so yesterday we rapped about it for a second on Instagram, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So yesterday I take my kids for Father's Day to an animal farm sanctuary, and there's a bull. We go through all the cows. All the cows are roaming free, right?
This is
And they're
crazy.
huge cows,
It's so
fucking
crazy.
crazy. That's another thing. But these GMO cows, I guess, they're big, genetically
Monsanto cows,
magical
yeah.
organisms.
giant.
And so these genetically magical organisms are roaming the area, and I see this bull with horns. I know what a fucking bull is, and it's behind a pen or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. And I say, how come this one's caged up? I said, how come this bull is caged up? And the girl goes, she like literally does this kind of thing. She goes, she like kind of like
She's triggered.
yeah, triggered. And she goes, we don't use the term bull here because, and I was like, oh, why? And she goes, there's no such thing as a bull. There's only cows. And whether it's male or female, it's all a cow. And bull is a meat industry term. And I was like, really? I was like, what's the difference? And she goes, between what? And I said, well, I guess between what I traditionally know as and I point to a bull and a cow, what's the difference? She's like, there is no difference. And so I'm like, Chat GPT, what's da 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 da. And instantly it's like, a bull is not a meat industry term. It's a male bovine,
Right.
blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah,
cattle,
yeah.
blah, blah. And I'm like, man, you're like a volunteer who's answering questions and you're kicking down inaccurate information now.
Right.
And you hit it really fucking on the head where you're like, truth and science is debatable now due to opinion or something.
Yeah,
I'm
that's exactly
paraphrasing.
what I said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was that was so fucking on the head. But it's just like, man, what if if my kid comes up and asks you that question, you're teaching them something wrong. Like, hot dogs don't exist. There's no such thing as a hot dog. It's like,
Right.
okay, on one,
It's a tubular meat stick.
But also,
seriously, is
you're-
that where
yeah.
we're going with this shit?
Yeah.
You're separating this bull from the herd because it's a male,
Right.
And it's gonna start fucking people up or fuck other
Yeah.
the other
There's
thing. You know, it's like
practical reasons.
it
Yes.
doesn't make
Yeah.
any. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
shit
jump
is
in,
nuts, dude.
take up and set up a bull ring or set up a bull ring.
Yeah, right.
Set up a ring, throw a cow in there. I'll jump in there
Yeah,
real quick.
100%.
Right.
I've watched what bulls will do.
Oh, yeah.
That same dad of mine, I watched him jump in and try to ride a bull. And it
Your
did
old
not
man?
go well.
It's not like a cow.
It did not go well at all.
Ain't like a cow.
It jacked him up, man. That's when I
That
first
milk
learned what
tastes
black
real weird.
Oh, dude, man.
That milk tastes real weird.
Hey,
I told my homie, shout out
very sour.
Edmundo, shout out Edmundo at La Cocina in
Edmundo.
Canyon Country. But I told Edmundo, this older Mexican guy, I'm like, yeah, you believe this shit at the fucking animal farm sanctuary? They said this shit, da da da. And he goes, huh? No such thing as a bull. That's bullshit, bro. He's like, there's a fucking real thing as a bull. It's like, dude, everybody fucking knows this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this. But it's like you want to be so woke, you go joke. And now here you are teaching something that's not even fucking true.
Right.
yeah. So what we should do is those
Like
people
the
that say
bull's
that
going to be offended that
is
he's a
take
bull.
them
Right.
and we'll set up a big take them to a chicken coop that has a real rooster.
Right.
And then go, that rooster's the same as those chickens.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And then step into that fucking chicken
Godspeed,
coop
dude.
Yeah.
and then deal with that rooster trying to rip your eyeballs out, man.
Hey,
They are
pick
one
it
of the
up like a
scariest
chicken.
things, dude.
Rooster is a meat.
Yeah,
meat
dude.
term.
Meat industry
Yeah,
term.
industry
Yeah,
term.
Yeah,
Okay.
first of all, rooster tastes not as
Yeah,
good as a
yeah,
regular
that's true.
chicken.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But
a
guess
rooster
what?
will fuck you
Yeah.
up.
But
Big
guess
time.
You know
what?
what?
Gnarly.
I
So eat
think
'em, dude.
that you brought up a good point. Okay, you want to gauge for reality? Talk to a Hispanic person.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
They'll tell
Yeah.
you the
I've
truth.
said
bro.
this
It
a
is.
million
They'll
times.
tell you the truth.
I work with a lot of Hispanic laborers. They're the most
There's no
racist
bullshit
humans
there.
on
There's no
fucking
bullshit.
planet Earth.
Yeah.
But also, they're the most like no
They're real.
bullshit. Like
Yeah.
I have a buddy that I work with all the time. He's like, this dude is a cattle farmer. He slaughters fucking cattle for profit.
Right.
You know, like up in Ojai, like this kid has worked on this fucking farm for many, many years. You know, and this is what he does. And he's like, yeah, dude, all the roosters that are dickheads,
Yeah.
I eat them.
Yeah.
I eat the fuck
Done.
out of 'em. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like,
Done,
and it's like,
dude.
Who's laughing now, bitch?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, fuck, you know, like,
Because they're
it's,
fucking assholes.
yeah,
Yeah.
roosters are nuts. dude.
Totally.
Like, they're no joke, man. I
Oh, dude.
watched them attack my family when I was growing up as a
Oh,
kid.
sure.
On the dude,
Yeah.
they're gnarly.
Yeah.
dude.
I had the same shit,
Yeah.
dude. Like my sister.
Cockfights. What do they
Yeah.
use? Chickens
Yeah.
or roosters?
Oh, we gotta
roosters,
explain
yeah.
that to him because he
Yeah.
starts saying
Well,
cockfight.
whoa,
He's like,
whoa, whoa.
Yeah,
Let's-
I gotta break
hold
it
on,
down.
guys.
I'm
Let's
back
be
to
sensitive.
wild
said
planet.
cockfighting.
Yeah.
No, but like my sister in first grade, right? I was in like third grade. She's in first. They incubate eggs like for the last half of the year. At the end of the year in the desert, we grew up in the desert. You get to take your little egg home. It hatches. We get the only fucking rooster. Of
course.
Not only that, a
Nothing but
fighting
cock
rooster,
at your
right?
house, huh?
Oh, dude,
Just
it was
a
fucking
dick.
nuts, right? So
Yeah.
we live in a double wide trailer in Roseman, California.
Double wide, that must be
Rose-
It was
Man,
incredible.
brutal.
It was the
Must be
first time
nice
I
to have
ever
a
had
double
a room.
wide, dude.
Like,
That's fucking
first time I
great.
ever had a room in my life.
yeah.
Right.
But we get this fucking fighting rooster whose name's Wilbur the Killer Hippie Chicken, right? And this motherfucker
sense.
only loved my mom. My mom would ride her bicycle to like the fucking local grocery store.
Yeah.
This fool would follow her on her bike and guard the bike, dude.
Whoa.
And like fuck up anyone that came near.
I love
right?
that.
And so then you get home and this fucking rooster's like, fuck all these kids.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'd have to run out of my house, run interference for this piece of shit rooster, jump on the swing set, swing, kick the fucking rooster in the head while my whole family runs into the car to go to the fucking store. right?
You were a diversion.
Yeah, it was nuts, dude. Like this fucking
You
rooster,
handled the
like,
cock, so the family could get in
Yeah.
there. Okay.
But
He's a cock
I
handler
also
for
had-
sure.
That's what you said. That's what you've been saying this
I
whole
know,
time.
man. Come on, look
Yeah.
at him. You know?
But it's like, dude, this dickhead was so fucking. He was so
Wow,
gnarly, dude.
fuck
like
that guy.
he loved my mom, hated everyone else. I
love it.
Like
Yeah.
he
He
would
had his
attack
favorites.
the fucking neighbors. My mom had a sign on our fence that said, "Beware of the killer hippie chicken, dude."
Right.
You know, and this motherfucker, dude. Like I watched my old man who came to visit us like one weekend a year we would see him.
Mm-hmm.
He shows up, dude. My old man rolls up on the porch. This fucking rooster comes and just drills his foot. He's like, "What the fuck?" And my old man's a savage, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
He grabs his fucker and punts it like a fucking football across the yard, dude. And this rooster's like, "What the fuck?" You know,
love
that's a
it.
whole new level. You know? And it ended up someone fed him rat poison. It was a bummer, dude. But
Damn.
you know, like, but this is life, man. Like,
Yeah.
you fucking learn to deal with the card you're fucking dealt.
Well, not
Yeah.
to double down on the subject, but here's a curiosity, and you can cut this out. But Is there
Keep it in.
a trans history?
Yes, there is. And
There
I
is.
wish I could talk on this.
100%.
I
I'm
can't.
just saying I'm ignorant.
No,
I don't know.
they're in. God dang it!
And
man.
how far back does it go?
So,
Dude,
so hold on,
guys who
real
wrote
quick,
the Bible. Yeah,
Why
yeah.
I can do this?
Yeah,
And it really bums me out because Jessie that did my tattoo is a lesbian, and she has a shop down in Long Beach, and they're all lesbians. And I was down there with them talking. It was just they were telling me and talking to me about there was a science like a school or whatever it was in Germany that was completely demolished, and that whole. I really am so bummed that I don't remember what it was, but that whole college, that whole thing was based off of like educating and learning and understanding the trans community, and also along with the Native Americans and a lot of other cultures around have always like they were special, they were extra, they were like the shaman.
There's
They were
always
part of that
been a
program.
trans
There's
community.
Yeah. I mean,
but it wasn't put out there that all of us are.
Right,
You know what I mean? There's a special person,
Yeah.
and this is who that was. And I am so bummed that I don't remember because when we were just talking about it last
Pretty insensitive,
Monday,
Jay.
that they're like, "Hey, man, that's me."
Very
I was
Jay
like,
can't
"Please
remember
let me
if
know
these
what it
mics
was,"
are
because
there.
I really wanted to remember and study and learn more about what they were talking
I
about.
think that's
and I
interesting
will
because
make that
doesn't
happen.
history tell you everything you need to know about any subject, really? Right?
Well, it depends on how much it gets
track record
lost.
and
Constantly
stuff like that,
repeated.
right?
Everything gets lost. So we have things that are happening. That
And to
are-
be clear,
we look
we're
at it
all
as very
Lost in
important.
We're all very
translation.
To be clear, we're all supportive of the
100
right?
fucking
Yeah.
percent.
Yeah.
If you want to be you, dude, like I said, I've met a handful of people that really feel lost in their fucking
And
bodies.
I got you.
And yeah, me too.
And
Totally got
like,
you.
Yeah.
dude, fucking cool.
And that's
Like,
why I'm here to reveal.
great. I know. And
That-
Mike wants to make an announcement on this podcast.
Hey,
You know, even though he
talking
has
about
2 kids, he's fucking trying to do his thing.
talking about growing up with Mexicans, man.
Yeah.
I've some of my best friends from high school, all Mexican, and we have a chat thread that we do constantly through text messaging, and it's constant. Last weekend, I was working at the bar. I had all this different shit going on. At the same time, we're all texting each other. Dude, I can't tell you how bummed I was that I couldn't get in. And
Right.
just
Yeah,
the
right.
shit talking
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
goes on. It is just brutal,
It's
dude.
the best.
It is
Yeah.
the gnarliest, just
the most real
constantly.
shit.
Oh, 'cause
For sure.
We don't, there's no, I know that if anything happens, they're there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Immediately, they've shown me.
Right.
They've been there for me. I'm there for them. We've been tight since fucking
Familia.
high school. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And-
raza.
but the shit talking that goes on
Yeah.
with all of those guys
Unapologetic.
is the gnarliest.
Right.
Like it's just brutal. And I so look forward to it, man. There's a couple of them where as soon as they start to talk, I'm like, whack, all right, let's go. And I start throwing shit out, and they you fucking white motherfucker, fuck you, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, you dirty fucking
Yeah.
filter.
Yeah,
Don't tell us.
Thank you, Jay.
Say no more, Jay. Say no more.
Hey, man, I don't care, man. It makes...
Old
it-
fucking black family over here, but I'm racist.
Oh, hey, you don't know about black people being racist. You're on another whole
Oh,
different level.
no,
right?
I get it.
And you're not in the
Funny as
trenches.
shit, man. Nah, I mean, I don't care, man. None
love
of
it.
it
That-
makes
that's
any
the
difference
thing.
to
That's
me,
how
man.
most people feel. Most
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
love their fucking people. They love their families. They
Well,
love
it's so
Yeah.
manufactured,
acceptance of
right? The
anything.
shit that we see on the news is so manufactured
bullshit.
because if you're
Yeah.
if you're in society and you're experiencing it in real time, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
It
Well,
just
and
doesn't-
it's
yeah.
over.
Like the
it's
people I know don't
overinflated,
give a
it's
shit
over
about
fucking
this.
promoted.
And like when I paused earlier and I was like putting it out there, like we are very lucky to live in the communities that we live
Yeah.
in and being in Southern California and being around the people that we're around and traveling around. But we still, especially you guys traveling in
true
bands
trans.
and stuff, but you see, fucking, you're on point. What you see when you go to
pun
some of these
master over
other
here,
places where it's not a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you show up and you're a bit effeminate at
Yeah.
all,
Right. Yeah,
yeah, you
You got a
are-
new nickname right now.
we
Yeah,
do have
yeah.
luxury
We all know
in
what
that
that is.
fucking area.
Look at the
I can't tell you how many
Oh.
fucking towns I've been in on tour.
Yeah.
where you show
It's
up and
different.
you are a fucking absolute target.
Yeah.
And for a kid to grow up in that fucking, like, Strasburg, Virginia,
Right.
where they only
Yeah.
sell Civil War artifacts at the fucking antique stores,
Yes.
to, like, be a trans kid or even a
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
gay kid over there,
Yeah.
like,
Bro,
you
honestly,
got a
okay, so
motherfucker, man. Like, my
Early-
heart goes out to you. You know?
yeah, even talking to you about going out to Florida to see you guys at the
Right.
fest.
Right.
Jeff had a mohawk at the time. You probably
Yeah.
remember when Jeff had a
yeah.
mohawk?
Yeah, I remember.
We were
It was a
traveling.
faux hawk, but
Yeah,
let's
it was.
calm down.
Yeah, that's true. We'll let him have it.
That shirt was still way too tight.
It was way tighter than this, Jay.
way tighter.
But we would be traveling through some of those southern
Oh,
states,
dude.
and dude, we'd pull up to a gas station and
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
serve us gas because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
had a mohawk, faux hawk,
100%,
whatever.
dude.
I
And
dealt
then
with
I
that
remember when he was married to a Mexican girl,
Mm-hmm.
and they went on a road trip, and they would look at him different. I mean, it's wild, dude.
100%.
We don't
Hey, man.
experiencing it out here.
Yeah, we're
Well,
privileged.
we do.
We are
We do.
privileged out here.
We
I don't
do.
have
Maybe
that
you do.
experience.
We've talked about a lot of my family's black, and I have nieces and nephews and stuff that I've raised since they were little tiny babies. I got a godson, my nephew's name's Baby J.
Yeah.
He's black. My nieces that I had, or still have, my twin nieces Candace and Cassie. Man, I look like this. And I've walked around with them, holding hands,
And people
hugging, kissing, loving. Like, they're my kids, man. They're
That's
my
also
girls.
in Ventura.
Or Oxnard.
Oxnard.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Ventura, Oxnard's
yeah.
pretty brutal,
But
dude.
Oxnard, Ventura
What
is very
fucking white
like
dude stole
I
these
could, I've got
babies, dude?
stories for you guys about Ventura that
I've
like
heard.
people like.
It's
but-
close to Simi Valley.
Yeah. Okay, so all that aside, Oxnard. I'm not talking about Ventura.
Right.
I'm talking about when I was like in my early teens into my 20s.
Sure.
Where I walk around with my little girls, and these are my fucking little girls.
Yeah.
They're my babies. They're my
your
babies
blood.
to this day.
die for them.
Dude, I will fucking murder everybody in this
Sure.
room for any of them. And the looks and the shit that I would get from people.
Fuck that.
Dude, but it is, and there's certain people, I'm not going to say Asians, but there's certain people that really,
What was that?
really,
sorry.
I'm not going to
My
point out
headphones
any
cut out.
Gonna say
particular,
what?
and I'm not doing,
Say
I'm not,
what?
I'm not going to bring up that it was Asians a lot of the time. I'm not doing it.
One more
It's
time.
rude. It's not, Japanese or Filipinos or nothing like that. They don't stare at you
Yeah.
with no shame at all. Just
judgment.
stare.
Yeah.
Like, stop in the middle of the aisle in the store and stare at you with obvious intent. Like, obviously, like,
ignorance.
what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And,
It's ignorance,
You know,
for
yeah,
sure.
it is definitely
Yeah.
because they don't know. You know what I
know.
mean? But
Yeah.
it drove me crazy.
That's wild, man.
You know?
It's weird too because it's like, have you guys not experienced this? Like, have we not? Everyone's
A
experienced
lot of
it
people
to some degree.
like, in
yeah.
our area have not, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of people
wild,
have not.
right?
No, they've never experienced like. But I feel like even in a family, within a family, if all you ever knew was your family, at some point someone's gonna be like, "You're the fucking like guy who takes way too long to put on their fucking shoes." Like at some point,
Oh, yeah.
everybody gets like,
a
you're
big
put down
my
for
family's
some
black,
fucking
so
reason.
everybody's late.
Whatever it
They're
is,
late
like
to everything.
yeah. At some
It
point,
is
you're
real. It's
you're
not
the
a
loser
stereotype.
of
I'm not
some
black.
group.
Time
That's
is
me.
a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but especially like you two grew up in like a Jehovah's Witness, very
get into it.
devout
Let's do it.
fucking
Yeah.
universe, right?
Yeah.
Which I turned
Both of you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
both did. Yeah, separately.
shit.
That's how we
right?
know each other.
That's how they
through the
like, bonded.
unification of Jehovah God.
That's right, dude. Yeah.
Bless him.
Not to be confused with Joseph Smith, but you know,
Right.
No,
No.
close,
Uh,
though.
We
but
wrote
you
our
guys grew
books
up in,
way
like,
earlier.
You guys grew up in a very like, I mean, I'm gonna go on a limb and
Staunch
say
is a good word.
oppressive,
Yeah.
fucking staunch, fucking religious upbringing, right? And
Yeah.
both of you have like suffered
Trauma.
well
Sexual-
definitely
you could
trauma,
say.
but
Massive
like
sexual abuse.
you have a separation
what?
like from family.
We have an
and from
NDA, we're not allowed to
bonding and
say
all
that.
that shit, right? Like,
yeah.
so like, I know we've all known each other since we were fucking kids, but
Yeah.
like, at what point did you both realize that you were like, oh fuck, dude, we're from the same goddamn environment? Like,
Well, we met each other as like I had come out of it. He was still in it.
Mike didn't go as deep as I did.
right?
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, but
'Cause
we
he
were
never got
both born
baptized.
into
Yeah.
it as deep.
Right.
But like,
Yeah,
I-
that's not to take away from your
it
experience.
didn't stick with
Right.
me. And when
Mike,
I was
it didn't
18,
pass
I
your
got
smell
out.
test.
Right.
But not that like, oh, you fell for it or anything like that. It's just more like you were in it a little cunt hair longer.
Yeah.
But at the same on the same token, we both were like, dude, fuck this fucking cock shit. Like, and then we started talking, and we're like, dude, my parents are very like transactional and conditional with love and things like that still to this day. And so we start vibing on those things, and we're like, yeah, what is this fucking shit? And before we knew it, we were like one and the same. Our parents are actually
like trauma bonding.
Bonding,
yeah,
but also
100%.
they're the same. Our parents are the same as us. They just don't realize it.
Right.
They don't realize it. It's the same thing as anybody who's like, you don't understand. I'm part of a marginalized group. It's like, dude, you're the fucking same as everybody, but you're hostage to ego, and you want to play this victim role because it's a social currency now. And it's not even really who you are. It's not who anybody is. You're not a fucking victim. And also, turns out we never talked about what happens sexually behind closed doors unless it's locker room talk.
Right.
Locker room talk is, I'm going to push on that. It's fucking locker room talk, all of it. And
There's some big similarities.
big similarities.
So it's like my dad owned a small business.
Right.
And his kids worked for him in a
Which
small
we used
business.
to do awesome fucking shows in
at
your guys'
the
warehouse.
shop.
dude.
Yeah, it was dope.
was
Him
fun.
Mike
and
was
his
there
brother
too.
had this incredible warehouse off Market.
Right.
We used to do awesome shows
Dude.
over there, dude.
Some of the
Hell yeah.
best shows.
Market.
It was
and-
on Palma for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were down
Was
on
it-
Palma.
right,
Was
right,
it
right.
Yeah.
called something?
No,
no,
it was just
no.
Scott and Sons Electric.
yeah, well, I
Yeah.
didn't want to throw it out
Oh
there. but
shit!
yeah, I don't
Okay,
give a
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I know
totally.
Scott's and Son. We still
Even
use
and,
them.
at
Well, sorry,
the
what was your
time-
dad's social
Hold on.
security?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. Throw his
610. No.
So
And at the
we
time,
use Scott's
our
and Sons in my
uncle-
work still.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah, the
And-
great electricians.
And our great uncle, so my dad's uncle, was Mike Tracy, who was the chief of police.
Right.
So when the cops would come by, they'd be like, "What's going on?"
Right.
And we'd be like, "Oh, you know Mike Tracy? That's our uncle." And
I
they'd be like,
remember. I
"All
literally
right,
remember the
okay,
cops
just
showing
keep
up,
it down,
and then
keep
like
it down.
you guys
yeah.
had the plug where the cops would show up and
Right.
then they leave, and you're like, "We're
How
on
did
fucking
that happen?
touchable,
Yeah,
bro."
totally.
I
yeah.
remember Jeff gave me a card, a sheriff
yeah,
card.
we
Yeah,
had-
literally,
yeah.
professional courtesy
He's like,
card.
show this if you
Yeah.
ever get pulled over. I was like,
100%.
So we milked that.
Wow.
But Mike's dad also owned a small business. Well,
Yeah.
small business, right? Both of our
Yeah, yeah.
parents
It wasn't
excelled
like
in their
a
business.
nationwide or
yeah,
anything.
lucrative though.
Right. So there's that.
You're not throwing that one out there?
There's that commonality. Wetzel and Sons movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I got you.
Yeah,
Know
yeah.
that one too.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't say it.
no
Can we bleep that?
No,
Kenny?
it's okay.
We
It's
can
okay.
keep 'em. We'll keep it in.
Okay. So anyway, we've spoken about this. Stop me if I'm going too far.
Sure.
But
Do it.
there is a part of that equation where when your parent is financially responsible for multiple people, right, within what you would call the congregation, right? So
Right.
all of a sudden, the churchgoers are working for your
Yeah.
parents, right?
Right.
And also financial, and they funnel you into their business model, right? Now you become sort of
Financially abused.
financially abused. Like,
Right.
you rely on them.
Cannon fodder.
Right, you're reliable
Yeah. Big
because
time.
you were
Jesus
swayed
Christ.
away from higher education. Even though, like with me and my brother, we were both very.
Why would I get you college? I gave you the business.
right? Don't go to college. That's
Yeah.
gonna sway you away from God.
But also, like, you guys were like your brother and you were like
Jeff's brilliant.
actual fucking electricians. You
Right.
guys understand,
Right.
Like
My brother,
your
Jeff,
brother,
is
his
so
brother
smart.
was like at 20 years old, like a legit electrician, dude. Like,
right.
And
You know,
yet
and so it's
dismissed
like
as
you're
jerks.
given this gift on having
Yeah.
a trade, which is what I
Right.
eventually found.
But now you become a
But
slave.
you're withholding to the
Right.
fucking idea.
Withholding
of
is
the
a great
thing.
word.
Right.
Yep.
So it's the same. I think Mike had a similar
Mike had the same
experience
thing.
where it's
Totally.
like, okay, I've been funneled into this. Now, if I want to get out, what do? I have nothing to start with.
Right.
What are you willing to
Starbucks.
lose?
Right.
Everything.
But don't you think that, like, without all of the pretense that goes along with it, that happens to most of us?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
You really?
Not-
Because
I
like,
do.
No,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but
tell
you
you
don't
like,
know, but without
I
the
spent
carrot
my whole
dangled.
life just struggling, trying
Without-
to make that next point.
But you
Yeah.
never had the
You
carrot
had that-
dangled.
But no, there was no carrot.
Right.
There was no.
You were
nothing.
never lured.
Well, me and you
I
were
was,
told.
I
True
was
that.
never given. You actually were even luckier than I was because you were given a trade through whatever had happened.
Only-
but you were
yeah,
given a
only
trade.
'cause I asked for it, yeah.
I didn't have nothing.
Right.
I didn't have anybody going, "Hey, be an electrician. Be this. Be this. Be this."
And I'm
they're
de-
like, "Here's a gram. Turn that gram into 2 grams. Turn that gram
I'm
into an
certainly
ounce.
not-
And do that."
I see that.
I'm certainly
what I mean?
not like trying to assert that there's any sort of better this way than that
I-
way.
yeah, me neither.
But all I'm saying
Right, right.
is, you to someone like me in my experience, you were given the freedom to make whatever decision you wanted.
Yeah.
I was steered into a decision making process based on a dangling carrot.
Right.
So I wasn't given a choice of like, here's your options.
Right. You weren't given options.
No, I was like, okay,
Have fun.
run,
Right.
do whatever you have to do to get to that
Run,
next level.
rabbit, run.
I really,
Yeah.
really like. My dad did give me like we would do cedar siding and do all this stuff when I lived in Seattle when I was young. But when I moved down here, when I said young, I would do that when I was 11, 12, 13 years old.
Right.
By the time I was down here, I was 14, and there was nothing.
Sure.
There was nobody going like,
Right.
"Here, man, here's a hammer. Let me show you how to do this,
Right.
so that you can go be a laborer."
Right.
I tried to get into the operators union. Fuck, man. When I was in my mid 20s,
Right.
Sure.
I tried and I couldn't because it was so family. Like you have to know to get in there.
Right.
Now they're just trying to find anybody that'll actually work.
Right.
But when I tried, like it was all. You have to know somebody to know, like, to be into that,
Right.
And I didn't have any of that.
Right.
So, but understanding, you know what I mean? Like, I understand what you're saying.
No, I
Like,
get it.
There's also the point of, like, man, I really wish that I had somebody to show me how to do electrical.
No,
Like,
I
that's
know.
not the
But here's
hardest
the
job in
thing.
the world.
Here-
But
here is the difference.
The carrot you're talking about is totally understandable.
No, yeah.
Here-
There's
I
a
here's
totally
difference
the
get what
with
you're
that
saying.
manipulation.
And this is where I'm in the exact middle. I was raised with the fact that no one will ever fucking save you.
No, I
It's
got
all
that
on
too.
you.
Yep.
So
There's
that's
no
where I see
safety
with
So
you.
net.
true.
Yeah.
But then I also understand your guys' point of view because, like, as a kid that walked away from religion, I realized that the decision for both of you to walk away from the family practice, the family
Yeah.
belief, which was wrapped up in this
pinnacle.
religious shit,
Yeah.
you are sacrificing your job, your family,
Yeah.
The friends you thought
the
you had.
friends that you thought you
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
You guys walked
Our
away.
world.
Like
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
you guys to walk away from that and make the decision, like, I'm not going to have a great relationship with my parents or my family ever again.
I'm lucky
I was
because Jeff
lucky
made that decision before I did.
Yeah.
And I got to follow.
Right.
He did the hard part.
Right.
So
Jeff did.
back
Right.
to my father. And again, man, I wish I can get him to come talk to us, but there's no fucking way.
We actually
If
have
I
a
had-
surprise for you here today, Jay.
Hey,
Come
man,
on,
hey,
Come on
bring
in,
him in.
Papa Curran.
you guys would be so fucking lucky to be able to sit there and
insane.
have a conversation with
Hell
that
yeah.
fucking guy. If I showed up in a fucking dress
Again.
with a giant black dude next to me holding my hand, and I walked up to my dad and said, "Hey, Pops, this is who I am," Pops would have been like, "Yeah, all right, whatever."
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Wouldn't
What makes
care.
you so special?
You still don't
He just
impress.
wouldn't care. He just never. There's
Yeah.
no like. There's never been any guilt.
Yeah,
No,
right.
nut like.
But that is
but
the
hearing you
religious
guys and what you're
divide,
talking
dude.
about is like I'm just like I went through a lot of really really hard shit.
Sure.
But I didn't win my family.
Yeah.
I did with everybody else.
Right.
You guys probably had a pretty good other stuff, but your family and the dynamic that you got from that with the guilt and the pressure and the
It's
stuff that you have
insane,
to
dude.
do.
It's
I
insane.
never had any of that.
Yeah,
You know
everybody's
what I
got
mean?
their
Everyone's got their
bottom
thing.
of the spectrum
We're not
and top of the
victims. It's
spectrum.
just
No,
an
no.
interesting ass fucking
Although-
story.
No,
like,
no, I
yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is just us having a conversation about and me
Word.
understanding and listening because
Right.
my like I had this. If you'd have had this conversation with me 20 years, I just said fuck you guys.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You guys, whatever, man.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah,
are all
it's not
chumps.
hard. Fuck
No,
it.
man, fuck you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Immediately, I'd have been like, man, you guys want to learn, then you fucking go over there and you fucking learn how to do that.
Right.
And you
Right.
guys, all
You're
of
like,
a sudden,
oh, big deal. You had to be on your own.
yeah,
big
oh,
fucking deal.
Big
We
deal.
all
Your
did.
dad's trying to
Right.
give you a business,
Right.
Like really,
Right.
But
Scott's
also-
and Sons is
Right.
still
What
$1
is it?
million
How-
dollar
You're in the
business,
name.
and you're trying to
Right.
not do it.
Right.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Right.
But now
The
because
complexity.
of I understand, especially like with the religious aspect and the cult aspect of all of it is like you can't leave this cult.
No.
Right.
You
No.
have to stay
And if you do,
in
it's
this.
all in or all out.
Right. Like,
big time.
yeah, I mean, like me and my brother being outside of the cult haven't been invited to my parents' house in the last 15, 16 years.
That's insane, dude.
I mean, they live right down the street.
Right.
Like, we don't get to do that.
That blows my mind, man. My
It's
dad,
wild.
I couldn't even.
Yeah, it's
I couldn't
weird.
imagine anybody in my family ever
Yeah.
saying like
Right.
no matter what, unless you're a pedo or chomo, like
Yeah, yeah.
outside of that,
I mean,
we're
we're
accepting
getting back
all,
into
right?
some
I
other
mean-
aspects of your church. But in my family, if that's
We don't judge,
There's
but-
anything else outside of that,
Right.
Yeah.
you're whatever, man.
No,
Nobody
And
gives a
that's
shit.
the
Come eat
power
the
of
barbecue.
religious fucking ideology.
Yeah.
dude.
Right.
And that's like what I identified with. Like, even though I was like a Christian or whatever.
Sure.
Like when I left the church, like a conscious decision where I was like, the things that you guys are telling me here are not making sense anymore.
Right.
I went
Doesn't
to
pass the
church
smell
as,
test.
as
That's
a
Mike's
rebellion
statement.
of
Yeah.
these things, and now I'm dating a chick that's not in the church, and I'm having the same fucking friends that I know are fucking their friends' girlfriends drop me off letters telling me that I'm living in sin because I'm dating a bitch that's
Right.
not in church.
I've gotten letters.
And then I'm having a
Yeah, yeah.
pastor tell me that my mom, who's raised 1,000 fucking illegitimate children,
Yeah.
would bend over backwards to help any fucking child on earth. If she doesn't say these magic words,
Right.
she's not going to heaven.
Sequence of symbols.
Yeah, 100%. You
Yeah.
know? And that was like, I had like, you know, I didn't have to walk away from my family, thank fucking God, but
Yeah.
I had to like make the choice where I was like, and that's how I met you, dude.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I made the choice to leave the church, and we started venturing out into the world.
Yeah.
And we met you, dude, and we met
And
you.
you made your
we
own.
met all
Yeah.
these fucking incredible
I've met
people.
the
you know?
best people, to corroborate your point, I've met the best people I've ever met since leaving fucking religion.
Right.
It's like, damn, there's so many cool people out here. All the people you were telling me, like, beware of, these are the bad people. These are Satan. These are the people that Satan has his grip on and all this shit. It's like, no, these are just genuinely fucking nice people. These are
Right.
cool people.
Not only that,
Yeah.
but these are the people where
Exactly.
if I decide
My
to
dad-
go back
My
to
dad,
the
man,
JWs,
go back to my dad
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
dad's friends. I'm sorry, but going back to my dad and my dad's friends, man, there was no judgment. There was no,
Yeah.
like they would have conversations with me about whatever.
Right.
You know, did they show me porn too soon? Yes. Did they turn me on to coke too soon? Yes.
Wait, were you a JW?
Yeah. but they literally were like, hey, man, like,
You're here.
hey,
You're
check this
accepted.
book out. Read this book. We
Right.
love you.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was no, like, we never had anything, no touchy feely, no violence. No, I was never beat. I was never
Right.
like, I mean, never beat. My dad should have beat us. He did not.
That
there was
explains
no,
a lot,
like,
Jay.
hey, man, he would
Explains a lot.
he would do stuff where he'd be like, hey, man, that was stupid. You guys, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And
Be a
if
dummy.
you see that disappointment in his face,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not doing it again.
That's enough of it
But there
being-
was, yeah,
The,
but there
I
was
wish
never
I never had you face.
Dude, yeah. Well, no, it wasn't the. I
No,
wish
you said
it
that a
was
lot,
the. No, I didn't get. It was the. Man, you guys shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
You're like,
It's
what
not
were you
cool.
thinking? Like, what the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the point I was going to make is I have friends now outside of the religion where if for some reason I decide to go back into the religion, they'd be like, yo, dude, we're still your friends.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't
Yeah.
go the other way, though.
But until that
Right.
point.
It doesn't
Yeah.
go the other way.
Because you're back.
Right.
Right.
But I just tie this all back into Bad Start. I think that a lot of the lyrics and stuff with our songs
Yeah.
does kind of share that experience
Yeah, 100%.
of like,
yeah.
yo, dude, like there's a bigger world out there.
Right.
Don't buy in to the bullshit. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes
Big
sense.
time.
I know you're like a psychedelic fucking, you know, freak, dude.
Juggernaut.
Me and you have had a million deep conversations.
You might?
Yeah.
You know, like we've had a million deep conversations. I
sure.
really didn't like until the last time I talked to you. I didn't realize that you were like a Jehovah's.
Yeah.
The Jehovah's Witness thing. you
Never
know?
really was a big thing between
Well,
us.
because it's not a fucking problem.
Right,
You're,
right.
you're a great
Tattoo?
fucking dude.
The Watchtower tattoo
I
on his
honestly
arm?
didn't know you and Jeff were either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but when you have that fucking weight on you,
yeah.
you have to figure out how to shed it.
Sure.
You know, and like whether it's bad start,
You're trying to
or-
find your fucking self.
you have to find
Yeah.
yourself, dude.
Yeah.
And like I said, like the Wrath, our last record was called The Valley of the Serpent Soul, and it was a whole entire through album, front to back, of me figuring out how to deal with the religious fallout, the religious guilt, the fucking
Find your
reckoning
place.
with it, the whole thing. Like 8-9 songs of just like lyrically figuring the shit out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and it's a heavy weight to fucking shed. And it's
Yeah.
a heavy weight to bear. I had the luxury of having a family that didn't give a shit. They
Right.
loved
A
me
good crew
anyway.
of friends.
You know, and like, yeah.
Sure.
But like to have that other side where you guys are, where you have to fucking stand on your own 2 feet, and then realize that like your parents at one point are going to look at your grandchildren and go like, I fucked it up, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
I fucked this up, man. Like,
Yeah.
because of this
Or look at
fucking
their lack
weird
of
belief.
grandchildren.
I call
Whatever.
those
This
deathbed
weird
realities.
fucking
Up.
belief.
Or
Yeah.
they're
It
so
keeps
indoctrinated
you
into
from your
the
gra-
culture
you know, like-
that
Yeah.
they're not gonna.
It's insane, dude. Like as a father, like I couldn't even all I want on planet Earth is to be a grandfather.
Yeah.
And Jay has the luxury of being, you know, like
The best thing
it's
fucking
incredible.
ever, dude.
Like,
Hell yeah.
Right? So
obviously, I
awesome.
want to raise successful children, and I'm sure you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
And maybe you will one day. But
Not with that
just
shirt.
to like, you know, like once you step out of that like guilt of religion
Fuck you,
and whatever the fuck the weight that comes with that,
Yeah.
you realize like they fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, they
Yeah.
didn't like
Right.
Yeah.
you know, like you're
Yeah.
gonna fucking ex-nay yourself out of this fucking life of these beautiful fucking kids that
Have you guys ever heard of a book called A Course in Miracles?
no.
It's badass. It's 1976. It was written. It was written by this chick called Helen Schuckman. She was working with a guy named William Thetford in I forget what university, and they had all this like government funding, and they were psychologists, and they were arguing a lot, and they didn't get along, and all this shit, and the university was like, "We're gonna cut your fucking funding. You guys aren't gonna be able to do this work anymore." And Helen Schuckman she started having like a nervous breakdown and all the shit. And then she got a voice, vocation that came to her in her head. And she started dictating it through shorthand. And William Thetford was looking at it, her partner, and was like, this is fucking crazy. Like, what is this? She asked, who is this voice? And the voice was like, I'm the consciousness of Christ. It's Christ consciousness, not a specific being, but a level of consciousness. And this is meant to be written down. Just write it down. It's not meant to be passed out. This book is not meant to be conventionally distributed. And anyone that hears about it, you're hearing about it because it's your time to hear about it. Maybe that's what this is right now. I don't know. But in this book, it's about 700 pages of a philosophy that was dictated to her and or said to her that she dictated. And then they added 365 lessons, this same voice, that you can apply at will whenever you want. You're not supposed to move on to the next lesson until you finished one, but you can do one lesson as long as you want to do it. And the book, the overall philosophy was basically like, a lot of people call it Antichrist because it uses Christian terminology, but like Abrahamic scholars are like, this is the deepest understanding of the Bible you can really get into. And it's not perverted or interpreted by man or religion or any of the shit
900 years of history
of just bastardization.
Yeah.
And so what the book basically teaches is forgiveness is the key to everything.
100%.
However, it's a concept still, just like all conceptual thinking. And until you transcend the concept of forgiveness, you need to learn how to use forgiveness for all wrongdoing that you think is real, and all guilt that you think should be applied, and all atonement that you think other people should acquire in order to earn your forgiveness on these conditions of love that you have. And then eventually, when you understand it and apply it enough, you realize forgiveness is just another concept, and you transcend that, and then you no longer really think wrongdoing is a real thing.
Right.
And that book made a huge impact on me. And when I see people like my parents, his parents, or the ideas we've been talking about of just people that are like, you're wrong for what you're thinking, for what you're doing. The book basically says, you know, you don't get to choose the curriculum of life, but you can choose whether you see through the eyes of pain or the eyes of joy. And you can either be host to God or you can be hostage to ego. It's up to you. And it's a fucking beautiful book. I can't recommend it enough to anyone. But that made a really huge impression on me personally, where it was like, man, I don't think these people, like even my parents, were like, you're not bad people. You're just fucking trapped in conceptual thinking.
Right.
And you think guilt is real, and it's really just this fabric that you weave existence in. And you go, you know, you're either guilty or you're not guilty, but that's a trap. And it's a hostage-like situation. It's your own fucking Guantanamo.
Right. It's a net that you
if
hold
at
on
some
to.
point in time,
Yeah.
Craig constantly talks about starting a cult. If you decide to start a cult, I'm sucking your dick.
Oh,
I'll
damn,
be
dude.
first in line, bro.
Prove it.
That shit is awesome,
That's
man.
great, yeah.
What
Jay,
you're
we have
saying
another
is
surprise
real,
for
bro.
you today.
Fuck it, man.
Take it underneath,
Hey,
Jay.
that,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
what I'm. You know, I want
Doesn't
to
it make
hear
so
that.
much sense?
That's what you know what I mean. Because
Yeah.
Yes.
I take snippets from different things.
got
That's
you.
what
Listen
I
to
try
Bad
to
Start,
do,
Jay.
and just try to find the different snippets and things where I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. I can't deal with this. I can deal with this. I can't deal with this.
Right.
Mormons, man. It's all to me is just crazy out of bounds.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a religion where I see what Mormons do for each other on a personal level that I have more respect for. They're preppers,
Seemingly.
take care,
Disciplined.
But, no, but you can say that about all of them.
Yeah.
Right.
No, and I do.
But they do. They all take care of each other. They all prep. They're all ready to watch out for each other. All the other stuff
Guess
aside,
what?
I
If
get all
someone's
that.
daughter needs to
But-
get fucked.
They don't finish
man.
renovations to avoid taxes.
But you know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I
it's
got
like
you.
there's all these different things. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? And so you try to pick stuff out of it. And what you're saying is a lot of what like you really want to get from it. You
It's
know what I mean?
all true.
Yeah.
Everything is true.
Yeah.
100% all religions are true. And then and like Course in Miracles teaches, you stack the non-essential layers on top of that truth, and that's how you make a religion.
100%.
So, you know, like it's like do you want freedom? Do you want to feel happy all the time? Do you want to have peace and long suffering with your fellow brother? Sure, we got you. That's what all religions offer. And who doesn't fucking agree with that? Then they stack the non-essential layers on. And that's where it becomes Wiener Schnitzel or fucking Taco Bell.
Right.
And it's like, damn, why is my butthole feel this way? Because you got fucked.
Because I love Taco Bell.
You got
'Cause your
fucking
priest
fucked on
puts holy
7
water
layers.
on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. 7-layer fucking burrito.
No, it's totally true, man. I mean,
Yeah.
the idea
What a great way to
of,
put it. I love it.
the idea of belief, the idea of fucking love. I mean, God is the word for love.
Right.
That is it. In the most
Word.
simple terms on fucking planet Earth, the word God is the word for love. And that's it.
Yep.
There's no other fucking argument besides that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, and
Sin. Sorry.
No, go
Keep
ahead.
going.
No.
Sin is just the opposite of love.
Right. 100%.
It's that,
yeah.
and it's not even really a true. It doesn't have its own independent, existent reality.
Right.
It's just like there's no such thing as non-electricity. Non-electricity can't go through your wires and shut your lights off.
Right.
There's no such thing as cold. That's just the absence of heat.
heat.
There's no such thing as dark. That's just the absence of light.
Right.
And there's no such thing as sin. It's the absence of love.
Right.
And so many people want to be like, you're a fucking sinner, you're bad, or you're
Sure.
wrong for what you're doing. But it's like, no. What you're gazing through is the filter of not seeing love in there. You have
Right.
conditions on your love, and you think people are wrong, and they need to atone for their sins. And it's up to you with your conditions of love to forgive them or not forgive them.
Right.
Shall they accept the punishment you're willing to bestow upon them? That's all that's really happening. I personally believe in the world at
100%.
large, and now you can start breaking that under that umbrella. Is how do you feel about trans? How do you feel about abortion? How do you feel about gay marriage? How do you feel about Ukraine, Russia? It's like
Right.
none of that shit's fucking even real. I'm not saying there's not things happening,
100%.
but it's like, well, if we keep looking through the filter of sin, which isn't even real, the filter of darkness or cold or non-electricity, then yeah, sure enough, you'll find whatever you're looking for.
So,
Right.
do you think maybe that when you say that it's sin, and as far as, and this is just what we're, just the podcast reaching out and thinking about this stuff, when you're talking about sin, you could be talking about social media, because social media is what keeps that perpetuating.
Oh, yeah,
most people
100%.
are
It's
living
not
their
helping.
life, but most people
Certainly
living
not.
their life are just trying to live their life. I'm just trying to get enough money to feed my family.
Right.
I'm just trying to get enough money to heat my house.
Right on, bro.
Or to air condition my house.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even, like, what you're saying and what you're talking about is so far beyond the grasp of most normal
Most
people
people,
that are just trying to live in existence. I want to hear this. I want to talk to you about this. I want to delve in this. I want to get
Yeah.
into this.
Let's do it.
But most people, like, really at a base level, like, if you'd have talked this shit to me years ago, I'd have been like, whatever, man.
Yeah. Same with me.
I gotta
Same with me.
It's too hard to
wake
think
up
about.
tomorrow at 3:00 in
hard,
the
dude.
fucking morning.
Yeah.
Right.
I gotta go jump in a fucking truck.
Same.
I gotta go fucking down to the shop. I gotta load this shit up. I gotta go over there. When I'm done doing that,
Yeah.
I gotta go do my other job, and I gotta raise my kid. And so all of that stuff is just peripheral.
Right.
And they're just trying to figure out how to go get a Big Mac.
And
You know what I mean?
While that's 1,000% true, it should be the opposite, where
Should be.
that's the peripheral, whatever it is.
The Big Mac's the peripheral.
Exactly. And the taxes and the rent and the keeping the AC on, that should be the peripheral. And in reality, we should be like, dude, we're all the fucking same. And whether it's
And
true,
we all want the same.
and whether it's true or not, if I treat you the same, doesn't that seem like a better way to live?
That's how
You
I
would
live.
assume.
You know what I mean?
That's how I live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I live this. We're not talking about something I don't live.
No,
It's
yeah.
just what I see is all these people that, and I
100.
preach the same type of thing, and I try to do it on a lower, like, just trying to be on a,
Under
you know what I
the
mean?
radar.
Low key, yeah.
But I'm trying to always preach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know how hard it's been to
Yeah.
make this guy a little more positive? You know what I mean?
About
Just
as hard as that.
negative. I mean, he's just so high strung.
It's kind of like how hard it is for that shirt to fit you.
See again.
I get mad when you even say it.
But that's
No, dude.
you know what? To also vibe with what you're saying, Craig, like that's a real fucking deal happy meal. Like it's something that you can actually tap into.
Yeah.
We all can. I get it. Like, dude, this morning I won't get into specifics, but I was fucking tense as fuck. And I was even like, fuck, like I got to go work on music with John. I got to fucking go to this podcast. And now, but unrelated, I'm in this fucking weird mental state. I feel pissed off as fuck. And then I was like, why am I feeling this way? Oh, because I'm not present. What am I actually dwelling on? Oh,
Amen.
it's shit that's
Amen.
not even here.
In the
Yeah.
future.
Right now, everything's fucking awesome, and I'm acting like it's dog shit. But it's
Right.
really because I'm casting my mind into the folly of the future,
Right.
or the punishment of the,
The
past.
what ifs
yeah,
of
yeah.
might happen.
Dude, when
Right.
I got pulled over by that cop earlier, and I had been
That happened
drinking-
today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it happened today after we podcasted
Right.
and did a couple of shots, 3 shots of Ouzo and a couple of drinks, and I get pulled over by this cop, and as soon as I saw the lights go on, I went, all right, I'm going to jail.
This is
This
it.
is it. Like, I have it coming.
Join the club.
I know it's coming.
Hello.
I've had him.
Good night, everyone.
But so then we go through the process. I'm very conscientious of what's going on,
Yeah.
and I make
Right.
sure that I do the things that I think I should be doing, and it worked out. And he wrote me a ticket. I didn't drive away from that going, whoo, man, how lucky am I? How grateful should I be right
You were
now?
probably feeling it.
I
Oh, you're
drove
pissed.
away. I
Fuck
rode
that.
away from that.
Yeah.
Fuck motorcycle
Yeah.
cops. All they are is revenue. They
Right.
don't really have a purpose. I wish that I didn't have fucking Ouzo on my breath
Right.
so I could talk shit to that motherfucker.
Yeah.
How do you even think you're a fucking cop when all you do is ride around and write tickets? You're just a glorified meter maid on 2 fucking wheels, you fucking bitch.
Big time.
And that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, in
Instead
that
of
moment,
going
you were
like,
fine. You were fine.
I'm not going to jail
Yeah.
right now.
Right.
You know?
That's the hard part. That's the hard part, is just remembering, like, but nothing's wrong right now.
Be
Right.
grateful.
Be grateful.
Be grateful.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, like that's. I think the biggest thing with everybody in life is just trying to remember to be grateful for the little
Right.
bits, man. Whatever it is.
That's the
I'm
lucky
so-
prisoners that can get there in their mind, where they're like, I found Jesus or whatever their thing is. Like I've reformed myself, even though there's no reformatory action taken in this fucking private prison. They're like, I found a way to get there in my mind. And a lot of people will be like, oh, you found Jesus because you went to prison. It's like, dude, maybe they did find this Christ consciousness or this level of consciousness that they were able to get to. Because I don't know. I've never been in solitary confinement or prison or anything like that, luckily. But I do know what it's like to be in the confines of your mind.
Right.
We all do. And can you think through that, or do you just keep feeling sorry for yourself and act like a fucking victim?
Be confined in your mind for 30 days in a cell where
Right.
you don't have nothing else but that cell, and then
Can
you
only
have to
imagine.
work. I don't
Yeah.
ever want to imagine
Right.
that.
Yeah.
There's the Innocent Project, and you hear these people talk about the different things that they have to
28
go
years
through,
in
dude. And
prison for a
you
crime I didn't commit.
and then they come out and you hear them, and you're just like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Like I really hope that I can even just kind of scratch
Yeah.
that surface.
To reform yourself in an institution that has no reformatory action.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy. You just did gymnastics like no one's seen.
Right.
You know that you're here. You didn't do anything wrong, but you know that you're not getting out.
Right.
You know that we're done.
What do you do with
now I'm stuck here for 30 years.
Right.
And now I have to figure this out. And then you can process that into I'm going to college. I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to start helping people around me. That is just, because I don't know that I could do that.
Same. I don't
I
know.
don't
that I
even
could
know
either.
how I'm going to do, like, I'm being a big old fucking white dude. How the fuck am I going to go in there
Right.
and not be a racist asshole?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I almost went to
This-
prison a
yeah.
couple of times, and I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I
Right.
can't put family pictures up. I can't let family. Nobody can know who my family is or where I
Right.
come from.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got family in prison
Right,
right
right.
now. Like, how do I deal with
Yeah.
all that? It just like how and then anyways, man, we could do
Well,
this.
this
I got you.
this
Wow.
reminds me of
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
story that my wife told me. My wife is so much fucking smarter than me.
Hold on, real quick.
But-
I'm gonna do this
No,
real
hold on.
quick because this is
What?
the fucking third or fourth time, and I'm tired of hearing this shit. This fucking douchebag over here. No, he starts off because we were talking earlier at the bar. What is he saying? I have no talent.
No,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
barely do
Yeah.
this.
No,
I don't even know how to do this.
self-deprecating?
Yeah. And
not
then he's all like,
self-deprecating.
so the last time when
What
I did the Wrath album, and the last one that I
Right.
did, where I projected the last
Sure.
all this stuff, and to get to this point, and like you are an incredible human being.
Look,
Stop doing
Craig.
it.
She's
True.
incredible.
Yeah. True,
My
true,
wife
true.
is incredibly
So are you.
fucking smart, right?
So are you.
So thank you. I
Hell yeah.
appreciate you.
Agreed.
I'll take the compliment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope so. 'Cause
Let's
you
not
deserve
start
it.
sucking each other's
me
dicks
and my
just
wife,
yet.
Me and my wife were discussing
Dude, I'm gonna
something
get
one
this
day.
out of the way because it ain't ever happening.
My
again.
wife is 8 years older than me. She went through college she graduated literally in 1994 from high school.
Nice.
Right. But she was taking a philosophy class in college one day, and this dude, the college instructor, asked this question to the class: what is the only shared emotion that every human on earth feels? And she raised her hand immediately and said, love. And he said, absolutely fucking not. And it's pain.
Pain.
Pain. That's the
Makes sense.
only shared human emotion.
Yeah.
So if you can understand that point,
Yeah.
you can move from there. That every human on planet fucking Earth understands pain. Not everyone understands love. Not everyone understands fucking
Sure.
that anything else
Yeah,
besides pain. Every one of us has felt pain. And if you can, she said it rearranged her whole fucking brain. Like,
I bet.
I always
when
say
you
this
meet
thing.
people and you
The one
realize
end
that
of the
the only
spectrum.
thing that we have really in common is probably pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a commonality. That
The
you can
ultimate
move from
teacher.
there. Right.
Yeah.
I always say, crank your head 90 degrees, look at it differently. Because I'll say if someone's like, I'm like, hey, how you doing today? And you know how the typical response is just like,
Yeah, fine.
doing good. Yeah, blah, 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 whatever. And some people, they do the, it's
Yeah.
like, I always
It is
go,
what it is.
crank your head 90 degrees, look at it differently.
Right. Try to bite your ear, dude.
Yeah, because it's like, I get it. You could see through the eyes of pain or the eyes of joy. It's your choice.
right.
You don't get to choose the curriculum, but you can fucking choose how you choose. You can be buried down to your head, stones all around you, AKs pointing at your face. say your last words, and you can choose to die with a smile on your
Right,
face.
right.
Again, easier said than done, but that is an option that's always available to
is
us.
true.
Freedom of mind,
I-
power of thought.
I live that. I truly live that, man.
Yeah.
I go through a lot of shit. I have a lot of shit happen, and I could be a miserable prick.
Yeah.
Really, really fucking easy.
Are you something
But-
else than that?
Yeah.
Finally a guy that
the
understands what I'm
shit talking, yeah.
Zinger.
But it's I
Yeah.
really truly am like, man, not only do I need to deal with what I have to deal with, I want to do what I can to help other people. Like maybe get a shirt big enough to fit them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
that little bit of
looks
help
like you've been
that you
through it,
can.
John.
Yeah. Oh, John. Yeah. No, I got you, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've been called a John many times.
That's right.
But you know, usually there's
that's what I saw on
smokers.
the,
Dude,
my
we've done a
daughter's
solid-
mom.
on the
what do we
court
got?
website. I saw John. That stuck with me.
Yeah.
Kenny, what
I
do we
didn't
got?
make the
Fucking
list, though.
2-hour podcast.
I
at
can't
this
wait
point?
to go through your closet, Joe.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously.
My daughter's mom is fucking crazy. She's multiple 72-hour mental institution health or mental health institution holds. Tried jumping out of cars while we're driving. I've been kicked and punched by her. Seen her destroy the house, pull all my books off of a shelf and dump juice all over them. And like, she's just fucking crazy, like for reals. And when I was going through it with her, I remember this is pre-Course in Miracles, and not to like tout that book so much, but that was a pivotal point where I saw everything different. And I remember thinking like, there were moments where I'd be like, what is going on? Like, are you okay? And I don't believe in like angels and demons, like specifically, but if there's such thing as a demon, I've seen it in her eyes for sure. Where it's like, you're not even in control of yourself. You're somewhere else right now.
Yeah.
And that book got me to realize like, you're not really here. You're not present. You're on some trip, a very fucking bad trip, and you're choosing to see through the eyes of pain. And even if you think, and if you say that to somebody that's going through that, they're like, you think this is my fucking choice? You fucking did this, or this is how the world's played the fucking hand of cards on me, or whatever the fuck it is. And it's like, okay, I get it. Like, if I tallied up right now, even like tomorrow, 2 days from now, I have mediation for court, and then a few days after that, this week, I have another court hearing because this is ongoing contentious child custody drama. And she's always trying to like throw dirt to get more child custody so she can get more child support. It's really all about money, that old game.
Yeah.
And I look at her as a beautiful teacher, not beautiful like looks wise, but I don't mean like that. I mean like she's a beautiful teacher to me that I can use to learn, or I can be like, fuck this bitch. You want to know about this fucking cunt? Like da 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 da. And I won't allow myself to go there, even though, believe me, the temptation is fucking there. Right. But I forget the Lord's Prayer, but there's something about like, don't lead me into temptation, something like that. Keep me from evil, or I forget how it goes. But that's how I see temptation, is like, what is the temptation that was talked about in the Lord's fucking psychedelic ass prayer?
Right.
It's, do not be tempted to tap into your lower base desires, because then you're a slave.
Right.
Then you're a slave to what feels like something you should do, whether it's smoking, drinking, whatever. And I'm not trying to be a hypocrite, but like, I'm aware of these things, and I'm not willing to be a slave. I want to be free. And free means to feel those lower base desires, know where they are, know how you're being tempted into plunging into them, and then saying, no, thank you, please.
Yeah.
No, thank you, please. I'm not interested. Because the eyes of joy are always available to everyone all the time. It's a trip, man.
It's a hard fucking ride,
I'm
man.
really looking forward to Craig's segue.
Yeah.
No, thank you. It's
you.
awesome, man. It's a great perspective, dude.
I love you guys.
Like
dude.
I said, we've been over 2 hours at this point.
Damn.
I love you guys to death. check
yeah.
out the fucking record, dude.
Hell
Where
yeah.
can
I
everyone
think the
find it?
segue is that like listen to the lyrics.
Listen to lyrics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
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 And let's
Yeah.
do this again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So down.
Bigger
Yeah.
shirts next
Yeah.
time.
Where can everyone find the shit?
On
Everywhere.
Instagram, it's BADD STARTT, BADD STARTT.
Multiple
Bad-
D's, multiple T's.
Yeah.
Double D's, double T's, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
And
love
then
double
same
Ds.
thing with the website, baddstart.com. And then on our Bad Start Instagram, we got the link tree for anywhere you want to listen to music where you groove to your
Absolutely,
tunes.
man.
Absolutely.
I
man.
love you guys. It was awesome. to
Appreciate
fucking
yeah.
this,
see you.
man.
Love
What
you
a
guys.
great
Thank you so much for
conversation.
Fuck yeah.
I look forward to when we can do it
absolutely.
again. You know, Craig, I love you, brother.
Likewise, man.
Yeah, man.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
Peace.